Alrighty, gang, and welcome to yet another watch along. Tonight's watch along, if you haven't figured it out, is going to be for Gremlins. I am going to be watching from my Blu-ray. This is the 4K, but there is a Blu-ray in it. Unfortunately, I can't watch the 4Ks back here. Hold on just one sec, folks. Okay. So, one of my guests, um, just messaged me and said that he'll be here in a minute. So Chris will be here in a minute. So I will attempt to keep you guys entertained till he gets here. Just want to remind you, yeah, bright light, bright light. That's right, Batman. Um, tomorrow night will be another watch along for the initiation. This is going to be a watch along rewind. Hey, Blissful honey, I owe you some messages. I heartily apologize. I've been so behind on getting back with people. I promise I will get back with you soon. Um, but uh, this will actually be a watch along rewind tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern time for the initiation. Because I did it a while back, and I think Uncle Bill really wanted to be on there, but he had family obligations. And as I always say, family comes first. So um, I'm going to have another opportunity. Hopefully, he'll be able to join this time. Um, and so we're going to do the initiation tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern time. I will also be having a movie munchies for deep red spaghetti or deep red pasta, whatever way that you want to say it. And now a little note about that, which will be at 3 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. I'll probably try to have a lot of the stuff already done, like having the spaghetti done and ready to go. If the sauce needs to be cooked a while, I'll do that. That way, you guys aren't waiting for long periods of time for me to have stuff ready to go. Okay. Now I will tell you, how long do you need to simmer this? How long do you need to do this and that? Now, spaghetti, I think all of us can fix spaghetti by the box, that it comes in. You guys can boil water and stuff like that. So I trust that you can do that. Um, I don't think we did, Batman. I don't think we said we may have, but I don't recall us saying our favorite lines from Sleepaway Camp. Um, but so that's coming up tomorrow. Sorry if I'm a little flighty. I took a little cat nap a little bit earlier, and then I was getting the lizards fed, my iguana, my bearded dragon. They were ready for some greens, so I made them a nice salad. Um, but I think I'm just a little flighty from taking that nap beforehand, but I wanted to try to be fresh and awake for this watch along. Now, I do have my energy drink tonight as well. It's the sour watermelon ghost, in case anybody wonders. And I'm also trying to drink a little more water. This is the red, white, and blue pop water from Walmart. I should have got some more wild cherry today, but I neglected to do that. Steve did take me out for a birthday lunch. I know it was a couple of days later, but it's okay. And I also had to work for 4 hours today. So he took me after I got off from work at 12. And we went to Texas Roadhouse. And I'm also still dealing with whatever sickness I've got. So I'm not 100%. I'm better since I went and laid down for a little bit. But just if I seem a little bit off my game, never fear. I'm okay. I'm just dealing with residual stuff. Yes, you are absolutely correct, Blissful. That birthday weekend is just as important as the day of your birthday or the week of your birthday, you know. And it worked out better for me and Steve to go. It was go this weekend. It was more relaxed and all that, which is, you know, that's the important thing. Um, I'm really excited about this watch along for Gremlins. Gremlins is one of my top movies. And although it's not a horror movie per se, it does have some horrific elements in it. I mean, these gremlins, and I don't mean Gizmo, I mean when the bad gremlins come out, they do kill people in this movie. There, you know, I ain't gonna lie to you. If you've never seen Gremlins, you're in for a shock if you think this is just, you know, merely a kids movie. It is not. You know, kids watch it. I mean, I watched it as a kid, um you know, with my family and stuff. um but Steven Spielberg pretty much produced it. Joe Dante directed it. It's Chris's all-time favorite movie, and I'm sure he will tell you that when he gets on here. um and So I was trying to think if there was anything else I wanted to bring up while we're waiting for Chris here. Oh, I did put a link from archive.org in case you don't have a copy of this movie. This is a VHS rip of it and it's in parts. So I don't know if y'all want to try it, but if you don't have your own copy to watch this from and you want to have a copy, you can try this from archive.org. It's not going to be top of the line quality. I took a look at the beginning of it and it looked okay, but just keep in mind it's not going to look like Blu-ray or 4K quality. Um, and it's also the way they've got it is broken up into parts. So when one part ends, I think you'll have to click on the other part. I don't know if it will actually transition over to the next part or not. So that's fine, Bliss. Will you say you'll be listening and cooking? Um, I was supposed to get the sublimation blank mouse pads in today. However, as is typical with Amazon, when you are expecting something and wanted to try it out, which I did, I was going to make me a mouse pad. It got delayed in transit, so maybe I'll get them tomorrow, hopefully. I wanted to try them out with the heat press and maybe make a couple. I was going to make one for me and one for Steve in order to practice them. But basically, once I practice and see how it's going to work and see what size they need to be to fit on these mouse pads, I will offer them for sale on the site. And basically, any of the T-shirt designs that you like, if you want them put on a mouse pad, I can put them on a mouse pad for you, and I will be selling those for $15 a piece. TJ, you're wearing your Gremlin shirt. Awesome. I don't have a Gremlin shirt. Shame on me, I know. So I have my sleepaway camp shirt on. I bet I'm willing to bet Chris has probably got a Gremlin shirt. Uh, He's shaking his head no. Okay. Well, TJ, you'll be the guy wearing the Gremlin shirt tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and add Chris on here because I've rambled long enough and probably bored people to tears. So here we go. Hey, Chris.
Hey Dana, hey everybody. Sorry, I'm a little late. I forgot that this was at 7 Eastern time.
Oh,
I,
gotcha.
I've had a wild day, and yeah, I was hoping to get to wear a Gremlin shirt for this, but I couldn't find one clean, and also I
Oh,
didn't really have time. I got a few things to get I wanted to show tonight too, but not as
sure.
much as I wanted to. Like I said, because we just got home a while ago. I forgot it was at 7, like because we went and grabbed something to eat real quick, and we bought a table off of one of our friends' today for our dining room, so we had to pick that up.
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool though.
Yeah, I had. Hold on, let me. I ain't got my mic. I'm such in a frazzle. I ain't got my mic over here. You can probably barely hear me. Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, yeah, that's better.
Okay.
I mean, I could hear you, but it sounded like you're a little bit farther away.
Right. Yeah, I was. Yeah, I was in such a rush trying to get on here. It's like, oh God, I'm late for this.
It's
Um.
okay.
So I was just trying to get everything straightened out because I wanted to be a part of this because this is my favorite movie of all time,
Mhm.
and so yeah, like I said, and I've had it's pretty long day. I had a yard sale out here in front of the house today, and just it was a real nice day today. So yeah,
It's been kind of, gloomy on and off here and kind of rainy, some spotty rain, but the bright spot was that Steve took me to Texas Roadhouse this was my birthday lunch.
hmm
Uh, and it worked out better for us because it's hard for me and Steve to do things through the week. And when my birthday falls on a weekday, it's just better for us to wait until the weekend.
but yeah, that's the same way with me and Candace. Like it's hard for us to do anything through the week because, well, just because she's always doing something, usually with her mom, trying to help her with stuff. And then, and I work Monday through Friday. So the weekends are always usually like our best bet of doing anything, together.
So, Chris, if you wanted to show your stuff off before we get started with the movie, that'll be cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Like I said, I was rushing. I didn't get to grab everything that I wanted to. Because I've got like a lot of autograph stuff. I mean, I've got tons of different posters. I got trading cards. I got books, all kinds of stuff. So, um, I guess I'll go ahead and start with. Well, Candace got this made for me a few years ago. It's 3D printed, and it's just the Gremlins logo. And you can see it's pretty thick. I mean, it's really well made. I don't know where she got it made through, but I have it sitting usually in my office with all my Gremlins plushes, which I did bring a few of those. Actually, these were some of the first Gremlins toys that they made when the movie came out. And there's the plush Stripe. He's a pretty big dude.
Mhm.
Um, and his hair's kind of a mess there, but and
He
then
he needs
there's
to take a brush to his hair, don't he?
the and there's the gizmo.
Uh-huh.
And I don't think this is not the one that squeaks. This is just a regular one, but I've got one that looks just like this. It's the same size and everything. And it has a squeaker inside it, so it makes like I think it was maybe made for as a dog toy or something, but I don't know. But yeah, this is just the regular one. Um, and I love these. I love these plushes. They're really neat. They're important to my Gremlins collection. Um, this other one is actually a gizmo from Gremlins 2, and he's a little bit more different looking. He's a little bit more like fuzzy too, and he's
Yeah.
still got his tag on there from Gremlins 2. And the cool thing about this one, on the back of his ear, it's signed by Howie Mandel.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Yeah, and he's still got the company applause that made that. It's
Mhm.
still got the little tag on there on his other hand too. But this is probably my favorite Gizmo plush that I have. Um, let's see, where's it? Oh, there it is. So I have like this was the first pop figure that they made of Gizmo. Um,
Neat.
I found him like at a thrift store. So he didn't have his box or anything.
Uh-huh.
But I was like, that's cool. I said, I want to get that. Usually anything I find, of Gremlins related, I'll pick it up. Um, And then this is also a pop figure. This is one of the newer ones, and this is the jumbo pop figure where he's holding the 3D glasses. And
Uh-huh.
we talked about that the other night. Like that whole 3D glasses thing with associated with Gremlins is just something from a fan edit, and it's not even in the movie. So yeah, that's really really cool. Let's see. I think. Oh no, wait. I had one other thing here. Um, so this is also from Gremlins 2. This is the video game for Nintendo.
Oh, nifty.
So yeah, I have a box copy of it. These are not easy to come by nowadays. Like the complete in box games and stuff from original Nintendo, and it's got some pictures on the back of like from the game. And
Oh.
yeah, it's an okay game. It's not like crazy fun or anything, but I had to buy it because it's Gremlins related. And the last thing I brought is this is also one of the original
Oh,
toys.
now I love that.
And the gizmo, he kind of turns back and forth, and yeah, it's just like and it says Warner Brothers 1984 right there on the sticker. Yeah, because that's one of the really cool scenes in the movie towards the end when he's driving the Barbie car to the department store. And yeah, that's all I brought for tonight. Like I said, I was in a rush and I just kind of grabbed what I seen in my room. So maybe I'll show some more stuff off at another
Yeah,
point.
I was gonna say it doesn't even have to be a gremlin stream. If you want to, show them on another stream that you're on, you can just say, "Hey, Dana, I want to show some more."
Yeah, like maybe if we do like I come on there with Friday Foolish and sometime and you are doing something related to that.
Or it could be. I mean, it could even be the apples and oranges.
Oh
Even though
yeah, well, like to see anything.
you can come on there. I did want to read Candace's message. She said, "Hey guys," she says, "Dana and Bliss, I've seen you both sent me messages, but my messenger is messed up. I promise I'm not ignoring you gals. I'll listen as soon as I can." Oh well, Candace, I just figured you were busy, hon. I didn't.
Yeah, something's going on with her messenger app, which mine has done that several times in the past
Mine
too.
was messed up a few months ago too.
Yeah, it can be aggravating because especially if you're trying to get back to somebody and you can't.
Um, TJ was wanting to come on for the watch along. TJ,
Absolutely.
I sent you the link, so hopefully you can come on here with us. And Batman said he played that Gremlins 2 game. He said it was fun.
It's okay. Yeah, you know, I didn't get a whole lot of fun out of it. I mean, it's okay, but I guess I'm kind of picky with video games though.
Mm. You're probably like my brother. My brother plays a lot of video games, so he's a little bit more particular.
Well, I don't play as much as I used to.
I don't think my brother does either. After he had kids, he didn't play them as much. He's got 2 boys, so
Trying to get signed into my thing here so I on my Voodoo so I can watch this.
yeah, I've got the 4K, but I'm watching the Blu-ray that came with it, and I guess I could tell everybody where I'm queued up at here. I'm on the Warner Brothers logo. The Warner Brothers logo's just come on there. Oh, there's TJ.
Well,
Yeah, TJ. Hey, TJ.
Hi, how's
hey,
it going, guys?
Are you house sitting at your sister's again?
No, I'm at my own house.
Oh, you're at yours. Okay.
has your hair grown or am I just imagining things?
Has it grown?
Yeah,
Green? Maybe that's why.
it's green. Are you Jordy Verrill?
It's for the anniversary of Gremlins. My hair's green now.
Well, yeah, today is the 40th anniversary of Gremlins and Ghostbusters.
It goes,
as well.
yeah, crazy. Two
Well,
really.
I didn't even pay attention to that whenever I was picking the day for.
Yeah, I was wondering. I asked that to Candace. I was like, did she do that on purpose or? But yeah, and yet yesterday was the 39th anniversary of Goonies. So yeah, so next.
I need to do another watch along for Goonies. I did one a while back, I believe, but I definitely could do it again.
It's funny, just I guess everything that starts with G just kind of it works out.
Candace thinks TJ's hair looks longer too.
It did to me. I don't know what it is. Maybe the last time I seen him on here, he might have had like a bandana or something on, maybe.
Or a hat, maybe.
Or a hat, yeah.
Or a hat, something like that. Yeah.
I can't do bandana. That's Garrett. That's don't want to infringe.
Yeah,
on
you don't want to do any
intellectual property.
copyright infringement on the Rad Pack.
I've noticed on some videos he doesn't wear it. I'm like, and I asked him. He's like, yeah, sometimes I switch it up. I'm like, well, that's your thing. Now all of a sudden you're switching it up.
Part of his
I guess he wasn't feeling a bandana day that day or something.
Or he's that famous now that it doesn't matter what he wears.
Steve used to call him Headband Garrett all the time. I said, Steve, but he said, well, he wears a headband. I'm going to call him Headband Garrett. So, Blissful says it's not blonde. His hair is darker, so it looks longer.
Mm.
That's her take on it.
She's the expert.
And hey, Blair's got some trivia for us. He says, what does Corey Feldman feed the Mogwais? I bet Chris knows.
Ooh. I don't think I do know.
TJ, do you remember?
Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't.
I couldn't. I was sitting here thinking too.
I mean, I know that they end up eating like chicken wings or something.
Yeah, that's what Billy gives them. I don't know what Corey Feldman gives them.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
How can I remember that? I guess we'll have to watch the movie again and figure it out. Or Blair will tell us. I'm sure Blair knows. He's just testing us to see if we know.
That's a good question.
So TJ, how are you watching it tonight?
I have the DVD.
Okay, so
snack case. Ooh.
I had one of those. I may still have it. I'm watching my Blu-ray that came with my 4K, and I am queued up to the Warner Brothers.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm just watching a digital copy that I have through my Vudu account.
Candace says, "Is it pizza that Corey Feldman feeds the Mogwai?"
I honestly, I cannot remember, and I've seen the movie probably hundreds of times.
So we'll let everybody that's watching along with us I'll give about a minute or two for everybody to get queued up, and then we'll go ahead and get started. But TJ, you got anything, on the horizon as far as films or anything?
Nope, just the green hair.
Just the green hair.
That's it for now. Maybe I'll get myself to actually film my YouTube stuff so I can put it up on YouTube.
Candace is eating pizza. Did she share pizza with you, or is she down at her mom?
We have our own pizza. I have one right here as well.
Oh, okay.
We got a deal through Papa John's. So shameless plug for Papa John's.
Sponsor, the new sponsor.
Papa John's, a proud sponsor of Evil Dead Chick.
Blissful, you're making bacon cheeseburgers. Dang, y'all are making me hungry, and I ate good today. I don't know why I'm hungry.
Yeah. I just got one topping. It's got green peppers on it and Alfredo sauce instead of regular pizza sauce.
Man, y'all are all making me hungry. Talking about
I'm drinking a Diet Pepsi.
I'm drinking a dang energy drink, and I've got some red, white, and blue pop water from
As
Walmart.
many energy drinks as you drink, Dana, I'm surprised that you don't take off like a rocket or something.
I think I'm just too old for that stuff to have that effect on me. At 48, the energy drinks just say, we can't do nothing for you. Sorry.
48. You act like you're at the end of your life.
I feel like I'm at the end of my life sometimes. I've had this, whatever this
Well,
is.
it's been a good run, folks.
Oh, I feel like Fred Sanford, it's the big one. I'm coming.
I love Sanford & Son. Me and Candace both do.
Elizabeth,
I'm
coming.
coming, Elizabeth. Yeah, Blitzel calls me a youngin'. She's Steve's age, so that's what 7 years older than I am. So y'all do the math there.
Old.
Blitzel's gonna come after you.
You know where I live.
She's crafty. She'll figure it out.
I don't leave a paper trail.
Well, Candace, they do have the red, white, and blue pop at the Walmart that we go to in Fern Creek. So I don't know.
Oh, by the way, here's my my Gremlin shirt.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, I like that.
Where'd you get that one?
That's why I didn't buy the Fright Rags one. I'm like, this is basically the same shirt.
It's similar to it.
Without the 3D glasses that aren't in the movie. Anyway.
Yeah. Grandma Bliss. That's what Bliss is. All right. Well, hopefully everybody's all queued up and ready to go. So we'll go ahead and do the countdown and get started here. So 3, 2, 1, press play.
Yeah. And I love the beginning of this too, like the little radio DJ thing, over.
Yeah.
Well, before they get into that, we of course we see, Billy's dad going to town. This is where he gets Gizmo.
Yeah, but I do love that opening when it shows the opening credits. I love that Christmas song.
Yeah.
I like the nuns on the rickshaw, and one of them is taking movies.
I seen Mondo about a year ago. You know how like Mondo puts out those really cool like screen printed posters and stuff.
Yeah.
They did one of Gremlins, and what it was like the poster was just like the inside of the shop here in Chinatown, and of course it had like Gizmo and his little like cage thing in there, but all throughout that poster was like little things that was like hidden in there, like it was 80s references, like it had like Indiana Jones's whip, and it had like the flux capacitor from Back to the Future, and just a bunch of stuff like that, all hidden all throughout the poster. And I wasn't able to get one because they sold out pretty fast. Those Mondo posters are pretty popular, when they go on sale. So, but yeah, it was a cool one.
Batman says, wait, wasn't Gizmo wearing some 3D glasses at one point? Well, we'll have to see because I can't remember if Gizmo ever had any 3D.
I think Gizmo does.
Hi, Candace.
Hi, Candace.
I've come to. I'll take an overhaul of the stream for a second. Chris, look, you should have wore this.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
It was in the closet.
Just hold it up for the stream behind him.
Backdrop.
There you go.
But I was want to show you something I'm working on, Dana, and everybody in the chat. Something weird. This is a Daffy gremlin that I'm working on.
Mogwai.
It was Daffy.
I know, but you said gremlin.
Oh well, Mogwai, whatever. Okay, sorry. But here he is, without any fur and stuff. Show it up there.
Oh, yeah.
That's the sculpt that I've made.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, that's all that she's got done so far. But yeah,
that's the face.
I'm excited to have her get that finished.
I just figured you'd want to see that. Wow.
I always love seeing Candace's artwork in any of the stuff she's working on.
Well, I was wanting to join you guys because I love Gremlins, but I would have to cram in here with Chris, and it would just be very uncomfortable. People who need to cram in with each other. So I'm watching. But did you put it on?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't talk, but I'll be watching you guys.
Okay.
You need an office love seat so you can both sit in the.
Yeah. We need to get our situation figured out where we can both be on here at the same on this one screen. So.
Well, me and Steve we'll be doing that tomorrow morning when we do the Eurocult show. We'll be crammed in there talking about Nightmare tomorrow.
And I love Billy's dad in this movie, played by Hoyt Axton.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's an inventor, so he's just that's why I think he was so intrigued by Gizmo. Which even if you're not an inventor, I think you should be intrigued by Gizmo. But I just love later in the movie when he's going to like the inventor conference and like he's got all his little things that he's brought with him, but everybody else around him has all like 10 times over the top like inventions compared to his.
Yeah, and that scene has a great visual gag in the back. I don't want to spoil it if anybody on here hasn't seen it yet, but when he's at the convention and there's something there and then there's another shot and then it's not there anymore.
Yeah.
Man, if you haven't seen Gremlins, you need. I'm not trying to be offensive, but crawl out from under your rock and watch.
There might be some millennials like 13 years old who've never seen nothing yet. So.
Right.
I'm pretty sure we don't see it, but I always wondered why in the second Gremlins when they show this at the store at the beginning, like you don't see like the little toothbrush thing that he takes later on in the.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wouldn't that or was it the cigarette? I think it was the ashtray that didn't have the smokeless ashtray. That's what it was. But you don't see it. Like I figured they would show that just like as a reference, but they didn't think of it back then. So. By the way, this is a Christmas movie, and we're watching it in June. So
yeah, but you can watch this movie anytime. It's so great.
Oh yeah,
watch it anytime.
We're watching it on the day it was released 40 years ago.
Well, the next Terrifier is a Christmas horror, but they're releasing it in October, which makes no sense. But whatever. Oh, we just got the rules. Sorry.
So one thing that kind of always like. I've never understood why about these movies is so when Stripe and the other Mogwais, come into the fold after, Gizmo multiplies, why are they all so mean? But Gizmo is, stays nice. He follows the rules and everything that he's supposed to.
I don't know if because they were a product of the mistake, they got him wet. And then he multiplied, and that was something that they weren't supposed to do. So maybe.
Well, supposedly I've not watched any of it yet, but there is a new Gremlins cartoon, which is a prequel to the films, and it's called Secret of the Mogwai. Supposedly, I think they go into the origins of all that in that cartoon, but I've not got to watch any of it yet.
I always just thought that they were influenced by Stripe to do bad things, so they were sort of product of
possibly
Stripe being sort of the alpha male, even though Gizmo was the parent who started it all. But
that's possible. But but then again, I don't know because they were all born at the same time, and we don't really see any kind of like influence from Stripe. We don't see any scenes of that.
We just see him like looking devious a few times.
Yeah,
you're right.
Like one of the first things you see is like, after they're born, like they're playing like I think a Donkey Kong little arcade game. And
I love this dog too, Barney.
Yeah. And that dog was in another movie as well. I want to say it was also in Dark Knight of the Scarecrow.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I could be wrong about that. But I know that I remember reading somewhere that it was also in another movie around the same time.
His old Dick Miller.
Yeah.
from every single Roger Corman movie ever made.
And he plays Walter Paisley in so many different films. Not this one, but he does play, like, I think his name is, like, Walter Paisley is the character from Bucket of Blood.
Yep.
Yeah.
So he plays in Chopping Mall as Walter Paisley, as the janitor of the mall. And there's like a ton of other ones. Like you just go look at his IMDb page, and like there's just a ton of movies he's done under that name, just to show his friendship to Roger Corman and being thankful for pretty much helping him get into the industry.
He's like Clint Howard, and he's in all of his brother's movies.
Yeah. But
Clint Howard will never be
in a movie with Joe Bob. I can assure you that.
Yeah, we know that. I think that Watch the Skies was like a Joe Dante. Was it a movie or something from him, or in the marquee of the theater that Billy walks by?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say Chris is more of the Joe Dante expert.
Oh, I love Joe Dante.
Remember when the Burger King used to look like that? When they,
Yeah.
I do. We used to go to this mall in Huntington, West Virginia all the time, and I remember I can still like visually see like what that Burger King looked like in my head and that was like 30 years ago or more. So I'm satisfied. Like I said, this is my favorite movie of all time. I'm really glad they decided the route they went with this film. But have you guys ever read anything on the original script for Gremlins?
Oh, it's a lot darker. The mom dies. The dog. Yeah. They kill the dog.
Yeah, the dog is
really
yeah. And I'm really glad that they didn't go that route, honestly, because if they had, this film wouldn't have been, I don't think, had the impact that it has, because it was its target audience was not like one specific age group, because kids watch this, adults watch this. I think that would have been a pretty traumatizing to some kids if they watched the original script for this.
Yeah.
Oh boy,
Mrs. Deagle.
The actress, I can't think of the actress name that plays her, but she's
Holly Holiday.
Yeah, she's still alive. I
don't think she acts anymore, but yeah, she's pretty.
Yeah, she passed, or I thought she had passed away like years ago. But I was looking up something recently on Gremlins, and I seen she's still alive. I was like, oh wow. I wonder if she does like through the mail, like autographs or anything. Like if I can send her a letter.
Hopefully she doesn't know that people are getting like $200 for an autograph.
And here's
there's Belinda
Blasky
from The Howling and
Piranha.
Yep, Piranha.
Yeah.
She's a good actress. She didn't do a lot of movies, which is like kind of a shame,
And this same character that she's playing here shows up with the kids again in Gremlins 2.
That's right, in the movie theater, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Polly Holiday used to be on that show Alice back in the late 70s, early 80s.
She was just at Wonderfest in Louisville. And there's a guy that lives in Louisville. His name is, I can't remember, Steve something. And he does like a podcast, and they have like a little thing called the Gore Club where they get together and watch movies.
Me and Steve actually went to one of the Gore Club things.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I'll be totally honest with y'all. Maybe it was the night we went, but people weren't real friendly to us.
It's Louisville, Dana. What do you expect?
Well, I figured the Gore Club would be like kind of like when we go to conventions and stuff, that there would be a camaraderie. And the first thing they told us to do is, you can't sit here at this table. You got to move over to some other.
Really?
It
is weird.
Yeah, we just didn't feel, very welcome.
Didn't feel very well. Yeah, I can imagine not. Yeah, I've never been in that stuff, but I've always followed those guys on like Facebook and stuff, and they did like a film tribute thing to Belinda Blasky at Wonderfest, where they just kind of like covered all the stuff that she did in her career and everything. But and as much as I love this movie, like I've met Zach Galligan a few different times, and he's not the most pleasant person in the world.
And that's sad. That's sad that he's not.
The first time I ever met him,
does he not pay attention to you, or is he kind
of the first time I met him, he didn't really. It was really odd. I met him at Scarefest one year, the first time I met him, and he was like, he had his laptop with him at his table, and he was more like interested in watching some kind of UFC fight on his laptop than meeting fans. So I tried talking to him about the movie and everything and telling him how much it meant to me. It's my favorite movie of all time. And he just like nodding his head. He's like, oh yeah. And he would like look back to his laptop and everything and watch, and he wasn't really paying attention. So, if you've ever seen my photo with him on Facebook from that Scarefest, you could like read you could read my look on my face like a book. Like it's like, yeah, I was not happy. But I've met him a few other times, and like it wasn't as bad as that first time, but he's just not like super friendly or anything.
Yeah. Maybe and I wonder why they even bother coming to conventions unless it's just to get money.
I mean,
if they don't want
the main thing is the money, probably.
Yeah, but it's sad that they don't want to interact with the fans. At least on just a little bit of interaction.
The number one person on my like bucket list of people to meet though is Phoebe Cates, and that's unfortunately that's never going to happen. I've asked and asked and asked, just like how I said I've asked for Pamela Springsteen. I think Pamela Springsteen would be more likely to do a show than Phoebe Cates. She's married to Kevin Kline.
Yeah.
And she don't have to ever worry about having to do this. Which that's the case for a lot. Jamie Lee Curtis never had to do a convention, but she did. But I don't know. I don't ever see Phoebe Cates doing it because she seems like the type of person that doesn't really care about dealing with fans or anything.
There's It's a Wonderful Life playing on the TV there.
Where's this movie house?
I love It's a Wonderful Life. It's great.
I do too. Now that I, had the pleasure of discovering it.
See, my dad watched it all the time, and like, I didn't really pay attention to it when he would watch it, and I wasn't super interested in it. But I watched it fully through when I first started dating Candace. She had me watch it because it's one of her family's favorite movies, and I have a much more like higher appreciation for it now. It's great.
Yeah, it's one of the best movies ever. I mean, like, you want to talk about a movie that makes you feel great after watching it the whole way through. It's very inspiring too, and I can't put my finger on just one thing about that movie. It's just, I guess it's the whole movie collectively that does that, but.
So something I was watching this a couple of years ago, and it was after I had finished watching the Breaking Bad TV series, like all the way through. And the guy that plays Mike in Breaking Bad is actually one of the police officers in this. And I never knew that growing up or anything because I didn't know who that guy was. And then I was like, after I watched Breaking Bad and I watched Gremlins, I was like, holy crap, that's Mike from Breaking Bad. Which that's one of the best shows I've ever watched. Breaking Bad.
I've never seen a single episode of that.
Really?
Yeah. I have not either.
I don't think Candace has either. She's not super interested in that kind of stuff. I mean, it's just, about a chemistry teacher who finds out he's got cancer, so he decides to start making meth and selling it.
Like you do,
Like we always do.
By the way, you notice he wrapped the present. It's a living creature, and he wrapped it in.
Yeah.
Well, he had to keep the light out, so.
Yeah, I mean, but the breathing would have been.
Poor
He kept the breathing out also. I don't know how it could breathe. I think the top of the container is, but yeah, that was like, okay, wrap him.
No, he could have had little holes poked in there, and we just couldn't see it.
Okay, well.
I love that first
that
shot.
dog's looking like, what in the
Step
hell?
out real fast. And here's the thing, like they've never seen a creature like this in their lives, and they're reacting so calm to this. I would be losing my mind if I seen something like that in real life.
I would too. Yeah, he's just like, Dad, it's really neat. I
Really
would be
neat,
like,
Dad.
what in the world is this thing? You
It's
know.
just Zach Galligan's true personality shining through. He's like, I don't care about this thing.
Don't let them see the puppeteers.
Yeah.
One of the things that it's so fun because I love about Gremlins 2 is that it's basically just a spoof of the first Gremlins movie in a lot of ways.
Yeah, 100%. There's nothing serious in that movie at all. When she starts telling it, was it an Arbor Day or a President's Day story? That's like,
because they're making fun of
when Kate starts.
And I'm on some of the Gremlins groups on Facebook and stuff, and I seen someone post something the other day that is an interesting theory, but I don't think it's the case is what it is. But like in that new Beetlejuice 2 trailer, or one of the shots that they posted online, he's sitting there. They're sitting there in the like the waiting room, and there's like a zombie looking Santa Claus sitting there.
Yep.
And there was a theory that's supposed to be Kate's dad from Gremlins.
That's what I thought immediately, but then I'm like, it doesn't really connect to, unless Tim Burton was a friend of Zemeckis, maybe, but that's like a stretch. But like,
well, I just look at it like this: like, how does Casper and Ghostbusters relate to one another, other than just ghosts are involved? Because if you remember at the beginning of the Casper movie, Ray runs out of the house.
Yeah.
Do you remember that, Dana?
I don't even think I've seen the Casper movie.
Oh, really?
Shame on me. So
yeah. So in the beginning, they're standing outside the house, and like here you see Dan Aykroyd run out. He's in full like Ghostbusters attire, and Ray, but he's got a mustache in Casper for some reason, and he's like, "Who you gonna call?" And he goes, "Someone else," and he runs off.
That is so cool.
I think that's just like a more of a joke than an actual, like, it's the Ghostbusters,
Yeah. But yeah, that whole theory behind the Santa and the Beetlejuice 2 thing, like being her dad, nah, that's not it. That's just coincidence. I think a lot of people just looking too much into things.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
he's terrible at taking care of Gizmo. He's the worst.
No, he's already.
He doesn't do a single thing right at all. I mean, even the feeding after midnight, sort of not his fault, but still, he's not paying attention. He's like terrible at paying attention.
Yeah, I agree. Like,
by the way, it's always after midnight, so they technically the Gremlins the Mogwais should never eat because they could always,
Again, like I said, I think it's maybe just Zach Galligan's personality just shining through because he doesn't care. It's like, yeah, just die, little thing, whatever you are.
Just told you 5 minutes ago about the bright light, and he's flashing the mirror in his face. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Gizmo looks really pissed off here.
Yeah.
I tell you one thing, my dogs would not be calm if there was a creature like that. They wouldn't just be laying on the bed. They'd be trying to eat it.
But I can't remember. I think maybe it was Super Batman Nerd or somebody in here that said, I'm still like I'm second guessing myself now. Like, did he wear the 3D glasses in this Gizmo? Like, I know the Gremlin, none of the Gremlins in like that image you see all across the internet, but Gizmo, it seems like he did. Like he's reading a comic book or something. They're in Billy's bed, and they're watching. Because I know there's at one point they're watching a movie, and I think he's maybe like laying there and he's looking at a comic, and I think he's got them on. I know he wears a Santa hat and he like plays the keyboard here in a little bit.
Yeah,
He's
This is
still
another one of these crazy
bad.
inventions his dad made. I love this one because the orange
And I
juice
love the music too. It's like dun dun dun, like something's gonna happen.
And apparently, I watched a thing with Joe Dante, and he said that where all that juice sprays out of the top of that device, Zach Galligan didn't know that was going to happen, and Joe Dante pretty much put that in there as a prank.
That's probably why he looks like he does right now.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe that's what just pissed him off royally, and he's like, "I'm just going to be an asshole to everybody for the rest of my life."
It's just like in The Exorcist when Father Karras gets the pea soup vomit in his face. He didn't know that was going to happen either.
There's a video game that came out several years ago called Lego Dimensions, and it like incorporated all these different movie levels in, like a Back to the Future, Lord of the Rings, a Beetlejuice, and a Gremlins, and a bunch of different other ones like in that game. And when you play the Gremlins level, you can play as like different characters. You can play as one of the, like Stripe. You can play as Gizmo. I think you can play as Billy. And you can also play as Corey Feldman's character, where you're running around in a tree costume. It's so hilarious. And this was one of Corey Feldman's first. This might be his first movie he did.
Because this was around the same time as Friday 13th, the final chapter, too.
Yeah, it was the same year, 84.
Goonies. Goonies come out around the same time. So
Goonies came out in 85.
Yeah.
So like yeah, because like yesterday was the 39th anniversary of Goonies. So yep, next year.
Hey, X-Ray, we are up to the part where Corey Feldman's just showed up and he's on the bed, kind of playing with Gizmo, wanting to blink his eyes.
And I have an 8x10 signed by Zach Galligan and Corey Feldman from this scene where they're like playing with Gizmo on the bed and stuff. Like I said, I wish I had more time to get like a lot of that more of that stuff together, like show you guys the autographs and stuff I got from. I've got so much, it's crazy.
Well, I will definitely give you the floor at some point when you get all that stuff together, Chris, and you can show it all off because I love seeing all that stuff.
It would take a while though, honestly, because like I said, it's like some people be like, why does he have so much Gremlin stuff? This is a little bit obsessive. Oh yeah, and here
yeah,
the new Mogwais, which there's not really any other than Stripe. There's none of the other Mogwais kind of stand out here in this one.
Yeah.
But I like the Mogwais, like the evil Mogwais, better in Gremlins 2 because they have more of their own personalities and they all have different names and
a lot of them are very stupid, like the
yeah, Daffy and Minnie and George and Mohawk. Yeah.
Okay, now this was Corey Feldman's fault, but then again, Zach Galligan should not have had any water in his room at all, knowing that there's rules with the Gremlins.
Yeah, exactly. But they didn't, like, they don't explain it. They don't tell him that that's what's going to happen. I mean, but the thing is, if somebody gives you rules to abide by, you're going to try to think of the worst that could happen. So I'm like, well, if I spilled water, I could have killed this guy.
Yeah.
Because the guy in Chinatown didn't say that if you spill water on, they're going to multiply.
No, he just said
don't do it. Well, the guy it was the little kid that told him the rules, though.
Right.
Well, the moral of the movie is white people don't listen.
Exactly.
There's 3D glasses.
He has, and I think that Gizmo uses those at some point too for the same comic book.
So I guess whoever did the T-shirt just figured, we'll give
We'll put it on the
Right, the glasses,
Gremlins.
yeah. It did happen in the movie, not exactly the right way, but
I think now I'm remembering. I'm pretty sure that Gizmo puts on those 3D glasses when Billy is trying to feed him, but Gizmo won't take the food.
Because he knows it's after midnight.
Right, but the other Mogwais take it, obviously.
Now, if you spit on a Mogwai, would that be the same as water, or is that totally different?
I don't know. That's just disrespect.
Well, what if Billy had a cold and he sneezed on Gizmo? Would that cause him to multiply?
The bathroom buddy. Like he shoots it like all the toothpaste all over it. Or is it toothpaste or shaving cream?
That might be shaving cream.
I think that was the shaving cream, but he swallowed it like it was not shaving cream.
Yeah, that's definitely shaving cream.
He keeps licking it.
Yeah, I wonder if that was really like
it's Cool Whip
or something, or
Yeah,
Cool
there
Whip.
you go, Cool Whip. Oh, man, I had one of those when I was a kid. The little Donkey Kong, like the mini game, like that.
I remember those, but I don't think I ever had one specifically. But
Hoyt Axton, he was a country singer, right?
oh,
Like, see, Stripe just spit on him now. Does that count?
yeah.
Well, I guess it doesn't count.
Okay. Oh, there was a toy there. I remember as a kid, the little caterpillar it came apart and you'd put a pencil in it and you would wind it up and it would walk. It was called Pencil Pets.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about those things.
Yeah.
But yeah, that little I love that when they're playing on that little Donkey Kong arcade. I've looked for one of those things everywhere. I mean, I always see them on eBay, but they're kind of expensive on eBay.
Yeah. I wish I kept that stuff when I was a kid. I do have one of those console games, but like that, but it doesn't work, which I really was upset about.
Well, I had something that looked like it when I was a kid in the 90s. It was a Power Rangers one, but you couldn't play it like a game. It looked like one of those, but I think it was just a bank is what it was.
Oh my gosh, poor old Barney.
Yeah.
Poor doggy.
At least it's alive though, Dana.
Yeah, I can take solace in that. The dog makes it.
I wonder if this is where they would have killed the dog. Then
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that was it. Because like you said, they kill the mom in the original script too.
Yeah.
I think they cut her head off or something. Her head comes like rolling down.
Yeah, I'm glad they decided not to do those things.
I'm glad they lightened this movie up a little bit.
Yeah, in the script, I think like Billy comes home and then he just sees his mother's head like rolling down the stairs because the gremlins cut it off.
I like it better, her fighting them off. I like that.
Yeah.
That better. She turns into Ripley for a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I'm not gonna say what that looks like coming out of there instead of coffee.
Bile. That's what it looks like. Well, like TJ said, yeah, I actually kind of forgot about that till he mentioned that Hoyt Axton was a country singer.
Yeah.
And I've ran across a couple of his records a few times, but I don't know why I've never picked them up.
In used record shops, I've ran across a lot of people that I did not know that they made an album at one time or another, and it's like, holy cow.
Do you ever feel like this scene kind of makes Billy look sadistic? He's like,
yeah, why? That's just the thing. I was like, why is he doing that? He also knows how painful it is.
Make some more of these things.
Yeah, it's like.
It's like, did anybody wonder why they gave them a warning about this, about not getting them wet?
Well, obviously, if you're Billy Peltzer, you're not going to pay attention to that.
Right.
That's why the uncle didn't want to sell it to them, because he knew not to trust these people. The kid was just like, "Give me some money, dude."
You know, they make NECA has made a bunch of like Gremlins figures and stuff, and they made, I don't know if they just where they came up with the name, because I don't ever remember finding any kind of origins of like other names for the Mogwais in this one other than Stripe, but they made a Mogwai from this one. It's one of the ones in that bunch, you know, from the first bunch of them of the Mogwais in this one, and its name is Haskins, and I'm like, where does that name come from?
I don't have a clue.
Yeah, like I still haven't. I don't know if that's just something like that NECA made up, or if maybe like Joe Dante made it up and just like, here, yeah, like name that one Haskins or something.
It was like Star Wars, because they like originally the characters, like certain characters, didn't have names that they made toys out of, and then with fan fiction and the comic books and stuff, they would name them and stuff. Like there was Hammerhead, and he has a name now, and certain of those like Cantina monsters from the original didn't have like character names, and then they're like, oh, now we have character names. I'm like, okay, I don't care.
Yeah.
What a mode of transportation, a tractor.
Yeah. But I don't even think I'd let him drive that home if he was intoxicated.
Well, she said walk home.
She's telling him, she's telling him to walk now.
Oh, and we forgot to mention Judge Reinhold is in this.
Yes.
And he actually had more to do, and they cut his role down.
Yeah. I have never met him. I know he does conventions for sure. I've heard that he's pretty cool. Like, he did a show here recently, and I seen someone post about it where they were at the same show he was, and he like went up to one of the vendors there that was an artist at the convention, and he bought like a bunch of different like Gremlins prints from them. So he seems cool at least.
Maybe he can convince Phoebe Cates to do some conventions, because they did a couple of movies together, Fast Times and this movie.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think she's like concerned at all. I think she's, because like once she got out of Hollywood, I think she's like, I'm done with that whole image.
Then again, that happened with Deborah Foreman. They were trying for years to get her into conventions, and then all of a sudden she realized that
she
had fans, and she's like, "Oh, I should do conventions now." But
yeah, and she's really cool too. Like I remember,
I met her a few years back.
She was at Fright Night Film Fest. I want to say like in 2010 or something.
Yeah, I think that's where I met her. Yeah.
Yeah, she's cool because I love wax work as well.
I actually got a picture with her too, so that picture is somewhere.
I like she says, I don't celebrate Christmas. He goes, what are you, Hindu? I'm like, I would have said Jewish would be the first
thing. Exactly.
But yeah, I didn't get an autograph or a picture with her. I just went up and spoke to her and told her it was nice to meet her and everything. I think I was probably out of money by that point. So.
I got a local convention coming up, and some of the Fright Night cast are coming, and I'm like, maybe I'll bear down and get some autographs for like Stephen Jeffries and Amanda Bierce and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's the convention?
I can't remember what it's called, and I've been there a couple of times too. I can't remember the name of the convention. I'm on my phone right now, so I can't look it up. So
okay. I know that William Ragsdale and Stephen Jeffries are appearing at a convention this weekend in Kingsport, Tennessee called Smoky Mountain Terror. And then later this year in Lexington, Kentucky, Scarefest is having a Fright Night reunion. And they pretty much got everybody that's alive still that was in that movie for that show.
I think the convention is in September, maybe. I know it's later in the year. Like I was thinking I'm never gonna get Robert Englund's autograph just because of how expensive he is. But it was like if he ever came locally, I probably would just go because he's older, and like I would probably want to get him before he like.
Yeah, he turned 70.
I don't want to say he's gonna die, but
Well, I don't want to say he's gonna die. But of course, we're all gonna die, and we just
Well, yeah.
don't know what. You know, he may have a lot of years left. He may not have too many left, or he may decide he's just done with doing conventions. That might be the other.
I mean, if you're, if you're determined to meet somebody like that, and you have the opportunity, I say go ahead and take it, because you literally never know what's going to happen to somebody the next day.
Here's Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Hell yeah. We were just talking about the remake the other night, weren't we, Dana?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Which I love. That's one of my favorite remakes.
There he is with the what?
Yeah,
that's what I was talking about. Like he was trying to feed. He tries to feed him, and he's like, "Nah, I'm good."
But those little
bastards, give us food. We're starving.
They're like my dogs, they're standing around like.
Yeah, and he already fed them. He is like such a pushover, this guy.
Yeah, the way they're acting, you'd think that they got a hold of Dana's energy drinks.
That's right.
Like,
and then they kind of calm down and turn their heads, and they're like, yeah, we fooled him. Evidently, Billy's easy to fool.
Does Billy not know how a clock works, or?
By the way, did you see the smiley face on the refrigerator? That's Howling.
Yeah,
was in the Howling too, and also not two Howling. Also, the Howling also.
When I was a kid, where this part here where they're eating the chicken wings up close, like they used to make me sick.
It's kind of gross.
Yeah, it's gross. No, Giz already told you he don't want any.
Now I'm wondering with that, because I know a bunch of scenes with Gizmo, they had like a giant head to really get like really detailed facial expressions. I wonder if they did that with a couple of those guys, where they just, because it looked like they were like really like gnawing and making faces and stuff like that. You can tell whenever there's an extreme close up on Gizmo, it's a giant head.
Yeah.
And here's the thing too. So like this scientist or whatever he is, he fed his little Mogwai too. I think did he not? Or no, he gets.
I think he
gets the food here. Just this is what happens here. I thought for a second I was like, didn't he give him something too? Because I was like, Billy.
He left a sandwich in the.
Yeah,
the teacher's doing it the right way. He was not deliberately trying to feed him. He's not stupid like Billy. Sorry, naive, but he's kind of dumb. Like Gremlin's face, Gizmo's face watching the baby.
Yeah. Well, he knows what's gonna happen.
Yeah, that shot where they're laying in bed watching that movie, that was like my cover photo on Facebook for forever.
Did you see? I don't remember who had it, but somebody on Facebook showed a picture of that puppet that was used with the really weird expression on his face, and he's just like at the bottom of a case, just like it's like, why wouldn't you display it properly if you got something like that? But
yeah. Now let me ask you this though: if you woke up the next morning and there was these eggs with the slime all over them, would you keep those in the house? I'd be getting them the hell out of the house.
Well, something that's interesting about it, because the way those pods look there, like I feel like that's why they showed Invasion of the Body Snatchers right before this scene where we see the pods.
Yes, very good point. Very good point. They also remind me a little bit of the eggs in Alien.
Yeah, they definitely do.
Yeah.
Which is funny because you said you like kind of compared his mom to Ripley earlier.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Now you pay attention.
Imagine if I planned that.
It's like, Mom, what happened to this alarm clock?
See, Billy's like, how did this happen?
Corey Feldman, why are you playing with that slime? Like, go wash your hands.
He's like, this reminds me of something.
He's just like a kid. Rub it on your pants, Just
This is before COVID. You just didn't care anymore. Those are big gingerbread cookies.
those are gigantic.
Those are massive gingerbread.
Oh, the original cordless phone. Woman, just pick up the receiver.
Yeah, just do it.
I'm gonna bet scenes like this weren't in the original script because they were too like comedic.
I love when like she's fighting the gremlins in the kitchen and the one gets caught in the mixer bowl.
Oh, there's Steven Spielberg just drove by.
Oh yeah.
And Robbie the Robot from Forbidden Planet.
So there's the time machine from the H.G. Wells movie.
War of the Worlds?
No, the what's it called? Is it literally called the time machine?
I think it's just the time machine. Yeah.
Yeah. Now it's gone. That's one of the best jokes in the movie.
It went back in time.
And like I wonder how many people realized that the first time they saw it. They're like, "Oh look, Belinda has another scene."
Ain't he one of the grandpas on 16 Candles? Ain't he one of Molly Ringwald's grandparents?
I'm not sure. Maybe. He looks like Ed McMahon.
I haven't seen that movie in like 100 years. I couldn't even. I know the panty scene.
Oh yeah.
I like how she gave a vibe as like the lady, like not the Wicked Witch of the West in Oz, but the woman in Kansas. When I always feel like that's what she was trying to like portray, that same type of character.
Miss Gulch.
Yeah, there you go.
We're already 45 minutes into this movie. It doesn't seem like it.
Yeah, this movie, like I've always thought that myself, Dana, like that this movie goes by like really fast for some reason. I mean, it's like I think it's like an hour and 45 minutes or something like. But it just like to me, and that's why it's my favorite movie, because everything in it is interesting to me, and a lot of times I'll rewatch it and I'll notice things I didn't notice the time before, and just I feel like the more that you enjoy a movie, the faster it goes by, and the more that you're not enjoying a movie, it's like, man, this thing's taking forever.
Yeah. Now this is like a horror movie scene.
Yeah,
coming out of the pods.
Yeah, the pacing of this movie is really good. Like, I wish people knew how to edit movies nowadays. It's just like, you could take this out, you could take that out, but they don't do it. It's just like,
yeah, there's really no like kind of like where it slows down at any point.
They got to show us every damn thing they filmed. It's all got to be in there.
It's like they're happy about every inch of film that they make, and they're like, well, we got to have it all shown, don't we?
It's like, a set deck would be bad. Tickets to the Super Bowl would be very nice.
Like he says, yeah, give me a Super Bowl tickets for Christmas, guys.
It's ironic that they're watching a video of a heart beating when this guy's about to die.
Oh yeah. Film strips. Anybody remember film strips in school? I do.
I mean, when I was in school, we watched videos, and they didn't like have any kind of like projector or anything like where you had the film like actually on the projector.
I remembered like the actual projectors with the
Smokey the Bear.
Dana, the old days when you worked at the library, did you rent out like film and stuff like that? Did they have that in any of the libraries you worked at?
Well, I remember microfilm, but I don't remember like film actually being checked out. Probably that was something that was a few years before I actually started my library career.
Okay, yeah.
We still had a card catalog, though, whenever I started with the library back home. So we hadn't got everything computerized at that point.
Yeah.
What kind of candy bars he got? I'm curious about that now.
Gosh, I can't remember what that is either. For some reason I want to say a Baby Ruth, but I don't think it is.
Oh, it's a
Snickers.
Snickers. Yeah.
Aha, I saw it. Yeah.
I saw the end of the.
I know they use a Baby Ruth in Goonies, but
Yeah.
I couldn't remember what it was in this one.
In Beetlejuice, they have a Zagnut.
Yeah, they do.
I remember after seeing the first time I saw the movie, I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna buy some Zagnuts."
And
TJ, Batman's wanting to know if that convention's the Monster Expo.
I think that might be the. Yeah, I think that's. Did he look it up?
I don't know.
'Cause he's not from
He
the
just
New England
knows.
area, is he?
I am all knowing of all conventions. But yeah, like the Zagnut bar thing you were talking about in Beetlejuice, like they have made as of recent, they've made some like merchandise for Beetlejuice, and it looks like that, but it doesn't say Zagnut, I guess, for copyright reasons. It just says candy bar or something.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
That's
just,
not
like,
good.
devoured his arm.
Yeah, that's as close as we get to like a real like horror scene in this.
Yeah, because we do see another death in this as far as the humans go, but it's pretty comical, and it's probably one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite scenes in the movie.
Mr. Hanson's not gonna be in good shape.
I always thought that was funny. He had the syringe in his butt.
Look, was Herbert West here? Oh my god! You should have followed the rules, Teach.
Uh-oh. Billy doesn't even look shocked enough by the gremlins. Like, he just kind of just backs up a little bit.
Man, that's not like the last gremlin I seen. Like it's just eating the test tubes.
Now, I don't think he ate the teacher. He just killed him, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We don't really know. Like, we know he's like the part of his body there. We don't see his full body. I mean, you could have like.
I always thought he maybe ate his hand
or something. We don't really know. So.
Actually, would have been a great sequel to this. That gremlin, we never catch him, and he disappears, and then years later he laid eggs, and we find him. That would be an interesting like sequel idea.
Uh-oh.
Well, Billy, you're brilliant.
Billy's been, and we're all being sarcastic here, Billy's been brilliant this whole entire movie.
Oh, I Gizmo the dartboard. That's
oh, Gizmo.
They have terrible aim, by the way.
Yeah, they're just really bad at darts.
Gremlins and stormtroopers, they have terrible aim.
This is another one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie.
This is making me hungry for cookies.
Gizmo caca.
Yeah. By the way, if you had those cocoons in the attic, would you really be like not concerned until something happened? I mean, like,
I would have got rid of the damn things. They would have been in.
I mean,
somewhere.
I think that I would probably be like calling the police or the FBI or something.
ASPCA, I don't know, whatever you.
I got these slimy pods here in my house. Come get them.
And for some reason, they have lights inside.
And I've never really thought about that, but like, why didn't they contact somebody about these things? Like, or were they just too wrapped up and like worried about making money off of these things, or like what was going on there?
Or were they afraid they would come and take Gizmo away?
Because because his dad was wanting to make like them like his new invention, like and make a profit off of them as the pelts or pet.
He's also doofy, the dad. He's a little bit doofy.
It's like, I don't have to follow rules.
By the way, that's a great needle drop. The "Do you hear what I hear?"
Yeah.
She's in the attic, afraid. That's like perfect.
Oh, like I said, this is one of the best things. Like it's so like the music and everything. Like it's perfect.
Now, if this was made now, they'd use this song, but they'd slow it down and make it really scary, like they do every other.
Yeah, they would make it obvious.
Yeah.
I love the gremlin that's in the Christmas tree that like attacks her.
Yeah, I think Batman said earlier that you can see a crew member back there.
Yes, you can't. I forget exactly where, but yeah.
Oh, Super Batman! I could have met Crater when he came down to Knoxville. I didn't know you lived in Knoxville, man.
That giant key on the wall. What's that all about?
I have no idea. People had weird things on their walls in the 80s.
Yeah,
I guess so.
It's like we.
You remember those big, gigantic wooden spoons and forks that people would have?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think Candace's mama used to have one of those in her kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my Nana used to have that too, on big giant on spoons on the wall. And like molds, but they would like never be used. They would just be there for decoration. I'm like, okay, whatever.
This is awesome right here. I love this.
Yeah. There he goes. They evidently have green blood. So
Yes.
That's ecto-cooler. What are you talking about?
Finally, Dad's machine worked.
Yeah. Batman says he lives in Chattanooga.
Oh, okay. Isn't that Chattanooga near where they filmed the original Evil Dead? That's in like Morristown or something, right?
Yeah.
Pardon me, boys. Is this the Chattanooga choo-choo? Very good. Use that. Was it bug spray?
Yeah, microwave him. Yeah. This is one when we were talking about the badass women in film. We should have talked about Billy's mom.
Yeah. Damn it.
Yep. If we do another one of these, we can talk about her.
And she's double knifing. I love that. By the way, when you first see the gremlin in the tree, it's just like a face and two eyes that are lit up.
You see the eye. That's the first thing I always see is the eyes.
Yeah. I'm gonna guess that was a separate puppet than the one that's actually attacking her.
I probably, yeah.
Some crew member probably owns that. It's probably in their attic or something.
If you've seen some of the original Gremlins props, like nowadays, they're so like falling apart and everything. Yeah. They look bad.
It's funny. Usually, a lot of those things, like a special effects guy owns them, and I'm like, why wouldn't they refurbish it a little bit so it doesn't,
Yeah.
Like
protect it or something.
Like Tom Savini owns everything. Like something from every film that he's ever worked on, he still owns like all that stuff, and he says I think he keeps it all in like one room of his house.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there. You see the eyes.
See, you just see the head there and the eyes.
I did see somebody standing back there.
Yeah, you see his butt sticking out of the. I love her screaming too. She's like, "Wah, wah, wah, wah."
I always wondered, like, how did Stripe? Because Stripe was peeking out of Gizmo's little box there. How was he able to fit inside that box?
I haven't a clue.
They're very bendy, I guess.
Good thing they had those swords on the wall there.
Yeah, that what Billy just did to that gremlin was what was supposed to happen
Happens to the mom. Yeah.
Stripe is like, screw this. I'm gonna go watch Snow White.
Yeah. I'm going to tear up this town too while I'm at it.
One thing I don't like is that ADR line. Mom, it's Stripe. We really didn't need that in there. This might be the only other family that doesn't get attacked by the gremlins. Everybody else does.
Right.
People.
I like that Billy and his mom have the same hairstyle.
Well, she has that aliens like short haircut before Aliens came out.
Right.
It's like the what was it? Was it Billie Jean King? Was that her name? Like the tennis player?
Oh, yeah.
She was the one that I guess just made that hairstyle popular.
Yeah, I'm going to stuff you in this backpack now, Gizmo.
Robbie Robot's wearing that cowboy hat.
Robbie the Robot, yeah. From Forbidden Planet.
Yeah, I actually have. They came out a few years ago. They have they're about around 12 inches tall. Of the Robbie the Robot from Forbidden Planet, and
I got Steve one. We saw
they're really cool.
Before. Yeah.
I think my dad had one. I have one of the Lost in Space robot too. I have that one.
I love Lost in Space. That's a great TV show. I even they did that movie, like the modern version of it from like the late 90s, early 2000s, something like that.
Yeah.
I even liked that. I thought it was okay for what it was.
And they did another TV movie with
the one that was like on Netflix or something.
Yeah, what was her name? From Scream 3. What's her name was in it? She played Dr. Smith.
Is it? Oh my gosh! The one that is like an actor for Stab, but she was playing supposed to be playing Gail's character.
God, what's her name?
It starts with a P. I know. I can't think of it either, man.
Oh, they just had to have a YMCA there in that town with a pool.
Parker Posey. There we go.
Parker Posey. Yeah, I knew it started with a P. Yeah.
The P help thing.
Or as Steve calls her, Parker Pokey. That's what he calls her all the time. I'm not even going to try to explain that.
These gremlins like scratching people. Uh-oh.
I love Gizmo's face in that scene, because he's sees him jump in the water. He's like,
Now, if they made this now, Gizmo will go, oh shit.
Yeah, exactly.
He go, oh caca.
What's it going to take to get a really good reaction from Billy? He doesn't even have a good reaction here.
I love when the sounds in here when all this is happening. It sounds like this cat's screeching outside.
Yeah. Well, Billy, you done it again.
This should be one of those the dangers of type videos that you watch in school or something. Don't be like Billy, kids. Follow the rules.
Or somebody should make a meme with Billy and have fail on there, because he fails this whole entire movie.
Yeah, so that cop sitting down there, that's the guy that plays Mike in Breaking Bad, and it just took me forever to realize that. His name I think is Jonathan something, and the actor's name. I love how he's trying to tell him, and They're like, yeah, sure, kid. It's like, you don't even follow the rules.
And the guy, he's like, I don't want to turn off the damn lights.
Stop motion.
Yeah.
Gusto.
I like this effect though. This is
Yeah, I love it. It's like, because that right there was Joe Dante's kind of tribute to Ray Harryhausen. Hey, it's Kate's dad.
Yeah.
Hey, that fire was hot. Now, she was the original Audrey in Little Shop of Horrors.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was also in it. He was the guy that ate the flowers in the original Shop of Horrors. Another Roger Corman connection there.
Yeah. His wife, though, reminds me of myself at Christmas time. I'm always straightening things up and trying to make them look pretty for Christmas. I'm real particular about the decorations.
Hope they have the rose.
Zenith. Yeah. That's the kind of TV I had when I was a kid. Was a Zenith.
Oh, they got Spanish.
Oh,
See, that wouldn't get mentioned today in a movie. You couldn't even say that.
No, it would. Yeah, there people a little bit sensitive over stuff like that. It's whatever. It's a product of its time.
Like that weird felt Santa face they have, or just on the wall. Like, okay, you're decorated, I guess. Gremlins. Have you ever seen the little Bugs Bunny cartoon where there's a gremlin, and it's sort of where Dante sort of got the idea for this?
Yeah, I think that's when Mr. Futterman is talking earlier in the film about the Gremlins, and that's what I think it's what he was like referring to. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, it's like set during like World War II, I think, and
yeah, like
the Gremlins get in there,
over the planes and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I've seen it plenty of times, and I always assumed that's what he was talking about because like he was cause the way he was talking about, they were like aliens.
Uh-oh.
I like how like these Gremlins are just like they just come out of because they go against all the rules, and so they become the Gremlins, and automatically they know how to operate a bulldozer, and
Yeah.
they're like, oh, let's go to the bar, let's get drunk, let's play poker. How did we learn how to play poker? I don't know. We're Gremlins.
Now, if they never made a sequel, we would think they were dead, right?
I guess I assume so.
Because we don't see any of them. We don't see them at the end.
The Gremlins don't want you to mail your Christmas cards either. Evidently.
He looks a little bit like Hal Holbrook from The Fog.
Yeah.
I always thought that this guy here, this guy got his arm caught in the mailbox. I always thought that was the grandpa from Silent Night, Deadly Night.
That would have been funny.
That would have been funny if they had is it Will O'Hare or Will Hare? I can't remember.
And is the grandpa that's from Silent Night, Deadly Night, is that the same guy that plays in Night of the Demons? He's like the old man, and then at the end, like I don't think so. Is that the same one? Okay. They look similar though.
He's been in some movies. I can't think of the top of my head, but I remember him seeing him and stuff. And I'm like, oh, that's the guy from Silent Night.
Yeah.
He's the worst grandfather ever. And he's good at fooling everybody at the nursing home thinking he's catatonic when he's not. That's another thing, too.
Billy's like, you see, this is what happens before the pupil stage. Dude, you can't even follow rules. How do you know what a pupil stage is?
And how come Billy hasn't said you should check the school because there's a dead teacher with his syringe in his ass? I mean,
that's like we said, he doesn't do anything right in this movie.
Well, he did successfully hook up with Phoebe Cates, so I mean, he did something.
Now, he didn't say the Futtermans were dead. He said there was an accident.
Mm-hmm.
Horror movie rules: if there's no body, they are alive. There's only 2 cops in the entire town. Okay.
Yeah, that's it, man.
Oh, I love
Hill.
this part. This is the woman that deserves it.
It's
No.
kind of like the Andy Griffith theory thing, like, you know, Barney and Andy are the only 2 cops in the entire town.
Yeah.
Oh, this is another one of my favorite. This right here, what I was talking about earlier.
Yeah, because if anybody deserves this, it's Mrs. Eagle. I mean,
Yeah, but the poor cats, they had no one feeds them.
no, the cats don't deserve it, but she does.
No,
Maybe Corey Feldman moved in after this movie was over, and he took care of them.
She took care of her cat.
He's not in Gremlins 2, so.
by the way, her cats are named after like money. Like that cat was Dollar Bill. That's kind of funny.
Yeah.
I just freaking hot wire that chair elevator thing.
She hates everything. She hates Christmas caroling.
I hate Christmas caroling.
Oh yeah, and I've got the NECA figures of these right here, where they're the Christmas.
Cool.
They made 2 different sets, like but yeah, I've got those. I've got close to all of the NECA figures that they've released.
I think these gremlins is the only thing Mrs. Deagle was scared of.
Yeah. Actually, you know what this scene goes to show you? That only water, not frozen water.
Right.
Because all of these gremlins should be multiplying because of the snow.
Good point, man. I didn't ever thought about that.
I'm going to add this to my videos I might never film for plot holes.
So awesome.
This is great.
This friggin' launches her. I love how that, if you see it, just a split second when she hits the picture of the guy on the wall, and it kind of tilts the picture, and his eyes are looking towards her as she's going up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that Howard Hughes? Is that who that is in the picture?
I'm not sure who that.
Because that would kind of make sense. Like he's a big money guy, and I gotta look that up later.
Yeah, the sad being the sad.
Oh, this guy, yeah.
Like,
that would be a great cosplay. Dress up as Santa and have all the gremlins on you, and you'd be running around.
That would be genius.
That'd be a great Halloween costume too.
Yeah, there you go. What's that stuff he has all over him?
I think we should go now. You're just now realizing that.
Don't even try to see the guy. Just let him go. I had the gremlins like taunting him. He's like, ah. Kid, shut the window.
Yeah, it's not how to use the blink shot.
For real. Just shut the window, man.
And he doesn't know how electricity works.
I think the mom is the smartest person on this movie.
Yeah.
Or maybe the dad, because he got out of town fast.
Yeah, I mean,
Left and went to an inventors convention.
now the cops or the people that crashed into the building are dead. We know that for a fact. Especially if they're like the teacher from Friday the 13th Part 7, who she didn't know how to get out of a car and she ends up dying.
These green guys are running around and wrecking things.
This is Christmas, not Halloween.
Oh, this Orson Welles crowd.
And we didn't mention it like when the movie came out, because I think we were talking about something else, but like when it shows the Rock and Ricky like billboard, he's like dressed like Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Oh, this redheaded guy. Can't remember his name. I know he was in that movie Strange Invaders with Paul Lamont. I remember that.
Okay.
He's one of the aliens. Oh, is he?
He's going to try to sell an ashtray to this dude.
I don't know why I've never noticed this before watching this time, but I've been noticing in the background and stuff. There's a lot of product placement in this movie
Yeah.
because you see like that mobile like the oil cans there to the side.
Yeah.
And seeing they had like Burger King earlier.
There's some Doritos back there. There's a
Billy was drinking a Sprite earlier. There's all kinds of stuff.
Now they're at the bar too.
Yeah, Coors beer.
Wow, this is a product placement fantasy. This whole thing, everything in there.
So I read something also one time where it said that all the reactions that you see of Kate in this scene are like are genuine reactions by Phoebe Cates. Because like they were just like going over the top with like all the stuff the Gremlins were doing, and like she didn't know like what was coming next and stuff. Like so, they said everything that her movements and everything in this scene is like very genuine and not scripted.
Why is there a barber pole in this bar?
Atmosphere. The Flasher Gremlin.
Flasher.
He's one of the more popular ones.
By the way, wait, you guys might know this, but so when we see them playing poker, there's one of the Gremlins. You notice the way they're dressed. Well, when it shows,
they like video games too, evidently.
Okay, see the Gremlin in the right hand corner.
Yeah.
She's wearing Mrs. Deagle's wig.
Yeah.
And her her stole and stuff.
Yeah.
I always thought that was so hilarious. Like,
and they got lipstick on.
Lipstick,
yeah. They made a Greta Gremlin figure from NECA for Gremlins 2, but I was always hoping that they would make that Gremlin too. Like,
Mrs. Deagle Gremlin. Like, they should make that.
Because they've made the Flasher Gremlin figure, they've made like the tattoo Gremlins. They made like the ski mask Gremlin. They've done a bunch of different ones.
Yeah.
Is this the brooding Gremlin? He's like sitting over.
I always thought this was like a Humphrey Bogart Gremlin or something.
Yeah. What the? He's like, get that puppet the hell out of here.
So stupid. I love it.
He just shoots him. Oh no, the other Gremlin gets shot.
Oh yeah, the Flash Dance Gremlin. Yeah, they've made a figure of that one too.
Now they're break dancing.
There's one picking his nose.
Yeah, I think this is one of the more fun scenes in the whole movie.
That's on the soundtrack too, the Disco Madness.
And that one thinks it's fun to electrocute himself, I guess.
Yeah, and that was, I mean, I'm sure it wasn't meant to be at the time, but it's almost kind of like foreshadowing because in Gremlins 2, the one Gremlin that gets like into the electricity and he's like zapping to the TVs and all the different systems throughout the building.
He turns into a cartoon, basically.
Yeah.
How many cigarettes does a Gremlin need in his mouth?
Well, she's smarter than Billy, that's for sure.
I'm convinced everybody is smarter than Billy. I didn't realize how stupid or naive or however you want to put it Billy was in this movie till the night.
Whoa.
That's the
ski mask. The ski mask.
Yeah, I love it.
Do they have one of those?
Yeah, they made one. They made like what it was. They made an accessory pack thing for like Gremlin, because a lot of the like the NECA figures, you can like pop their different body parts off, like their heads and different things.
Yeah.
And they made an accessory pack for like if you had like the basic Gremlin figure, that accessory pack came with a head with just a Gremlin head with the ski mask, and you could like pop it onto the regular Gremlin figure. But I don't open any of mine, so I can't do that anyway.
Everybody running
You
around.
see the shadows up in that window up there at the top. They're like going crazy.
Yeah. Now, originally, they find Judge Reinhold in the safe.
Yeah, but
Because Judge Reinhold is a weenie on this movie.
Yeah. He tries to convince Billy that they should, get out of there. And
I think this is the part where she tells the story about her dad.
Yeah.
Which
Yep. Here we go.
Talking about him being naive, that look on his face just said it all.
You can see behind him there, like Gizmo was struggling to get that back open. He's like, I can't breathe in here, Billy. Come on, man.
Yeah, Billy doesn't know about putting holes in things, and it's whatever.
He's not even paying attention to her while she's trying to tell a serious story.
He's like, I don't care, man. I just want to watch some UFC. Just leave me alone. He was like, what the fuck?
Gizmo's like, I don't want to hear this story.
It's a huge bird.
Yeah, I don't think a cat or a bird would have smelled that bad.
I remember like because Noah has watched Gremlins with me several different times, and when he was a lot, he was smaller. I was kind of like worried to let him watch this part because he's 11, but he still, he thinks he believes in Santa Claus.
Well, let him believe in it as long as he can, because that's when your innocence goes away.
Yeah, like when she's telling that story, I'm like, oh, hey, but would you go in there for like a second? Like,
And she's really good in that scene too. That's really some really good acting in that scene.
I love Phoebe Cates, man. Like she was one of my big crushes growing up. So
I probably love Phoebe Cates for different reasons than you guys love Phoebe Cates.
And she's like she's in this, she's in Fast Times at Ridgemont High, she's in Drop Dead Fred, all kinds of stuff. Like there was this one movie like she was in. Was it like
she's in Private School as well?
Yeah, that's what it is. That's that's a good one. But yeah, it's sad. I mean, like I think she has some kind of company now. Like I'm not exactly what it is, but yeah, she just I guess lost interest in all the acting stuff, and sad. I wish I could have seen her more.
Batman says the dog that played Barney later played as.
That's what it is. Thank you. I knew he was in another movie around the same time. He's the dog in Pumpkinhead. Yeah, to go watch Snow White.
There we go. Yeah, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Isn't it funny? It's just like these, all these gremlins would terrorize the neighborhood, and like the only thing that can settle them down is Disney.
It's Disney, yeah.
Everybody loves Disney.
They took over the refreshment stand, though.
I think that was kind of like a joke that Joe Dante put in there, just saying like basically like, because you know how you ever read that stuff about like how Disney is supposed to have like hidden subliminal messages in their films and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think that's why he put that in here.
They don't know how to thread a movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say how would they even know how to do that?
I like the one gremlin who's got the popcorn bags on his ears like that.
Yeah, that's another one. I think the one in that part of that accessory pack that NECA made.
They cut right to the best part of the movie.
Yeah,
See,
they
yeah.
all stop and look. It's like,
So if you just pay attention to this scene, like, it showed the Flasher gremlin there. He had the trench coat and the sunglasses. Yep. But you don't see a gremlin in this scene anywhere with the 3D glasses.
mm-mm.
Row. How do they smoke a cigarette? They can't light fire.
Maybe they just use one of those cigarette lighter things in a car.
Well, Phoebe Cates earlier in the bar, she was trying to light the gremlin that had all the cigarettes.
I always seen that as a plot hole because I mean it's a fire's bright light. So
Batman also says the guy in the portrait in Mrs. Deagle's house is Edward Arnold.
Okay, well, I don't know who Edward Arnold is.
I don't know who that is.
Give us more than that next time you give us that trivia. Oh, this is the gremlin with popcorn bucket with the eyes cut out. That's I'm surprised they didn't do a Saturday morning cartoon where all the gremlins from this scene are in it.
Milk Duds. I love Milk Duds, and I find Milk Duds a hard candy to find now. I don't know why that is.
Speaking of though, like somebody asked a question earlier about talking about what did Corey Feldman feed? Did we ever find that out?
No.
No, because I don't think he.
And that was Blair that asked.
Oh, yeah, Blair for that trivia. What is Corey? I don't remember seeing him feed him anything. I remember he just like sticks his finger out and they like try to bite him, but that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, make some Molotov cocktails.
Yeah, let's make some Molotov cocktails, guys. I know how to do something. I can follow the rules of making a Molotov cocktail.
Yeah, but we're an hour and 26 minutes into this movie.
Yeah, so like, what if like that? Just Billy, just like he's this, obsessive pyromaniac, and he's just like, I don't follow the rules. I'll blow stuff up.
I think Demons, or they stole this from Demons.
Yeah, exactly.
With the ripping through the
they had the popcorn buckets on their head with the eyes cut out.
Well, Demons was in '86. Actually, Demons stole from this movie. That's what happened.
Yeah, that's it.
Imagine me the guys that just stick out the hands in the scene from the door.
Yeah. I want to be the gremlin hand guy.
Yeah. Imagine the description: hand job.
That would be bad.
Sorry, I had to. I don't know the science of when the flame would hit the fumes and make it explode. Is it?
I love how and everything's on fire and it shows the gremlin with the mask on. He's got a knife. He's like shaking all over the place.
But then, of course, Stripe is going to
Yeah, Stripe was the only one that made it out.
with all the candy. I think he had a Baby Ruth bar there.
Yeah.
Or
I
maybe
knew I'd seen a Baby Ruth bar in Gremlins at some point.
there's a whole load of candy in there.
I think they just showed there was a no wait a minute, no, that was just I was checking out those plush animals there and I thought I saw like the dog from Fraggle Rock for a second, but
Maybe.
I don't think Fraggle Rock was out at this point. I could be wrong though.
I think it was 80. Don't quote me. I think it was like 83, 84. Fraggle Rock came out.
Because I know it came out like a while after the Muppet Show was in like in the late 70s. So.
Well, you got the Kiss Phoebe Cates too, so.
Have to. By the way, it's interesting in the sequel, she's afraid of Gizmo. Meanwhile, she's like taking care of him. Like
yeah, that doesn't make sense.
That was a weird like addition to the plot.
I guess she maybe just had PTSD and then like
maybe.
And then, she didn't have the common sense in Gremlins 2 to know that Daffy was a completely different looking Mogwai than what Gizmo was.
Yeah. She's racist. She doesn't know. She thinks all gremlins look alike.
They all look the same.
All Mogwais look alike.
Now that's creepy.
Yeah.
When TVs used to have what were those tubes? What were they called?
Oh, you're talking about like the light tubes on the TV?
Yeah, what were they called? They were called something.
I'm not sure. I know what you're talking about though.
Like cathode, something like that.
Yeah, it was something like that. I can't remember.
That's why it was called the boob tube, because there was a tube in the
The generic term was picture tube, because I know
okay.
I've heard people say that, but
that's why when people say Stu from Scream is still alive, those TVs back then, those were heavy as hell, and they had so many things, electronic things in them. They're like, no way anybody's gonna live through that.
No.
Oh, here's the ET scene they steal. Hey, there's Bugs Bunny.
Yeah, I think I had that same Bugs Bunny plush. And there's Sylvester.
And E.T., he's right there.
Yeah.
I wish I had the E.T. toy. Fortunately, I don't. Yeah.
My cousin Heather would be terrified of that easily.
My mom.
Now, Spielberg produced this, right? How come people never said, well, I think Spielberg directed this, not Joe Dante? Meanwhile, Poltergeist, they're like, nope, it wasn't Toby Hooper, it was Spielberg.
Yeah,
like,
okay. Spielberg fickle is what they are.
Yeah, Spielberg was the producer, Joe Dante the director, and Chris Columbus was the writer. So, hell of a team there.
Yeah. He's pretty strong that he can throw a saw blade into a wall.
There's so much to the mystery of Gremlins that we just don't fully understand.
By the way, I would love a toy with Stripe on the bicycle that moves. That would be so
cool. Oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
Gizmo's like this movie's hilarious.
Batman says that Judd Nelson and Emilio Estevez were considered for the role of Billy.
Oh,
really?
That makes me curious about how it would have turned out if one of them.
That would have been weird to me, actually.
Now, Zach Galligan has the perfect naive goofiness that I think works better than they would,
Stripe's like, I'm gonna kill your ass.
By the way, no one says, what if Eric Stoltz was in Back to the Future? No one ever says that.
Right. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
That's where TJ's shirt.
My shirt comes into play. See, and he's not wearing any 3D glasses.
Nope.
Yeah, this shirt was released like in a box, and it had like some special things in with it.
Sorry, I'm not talking. I was paying attention. I was trying to win something. That was I didn't for.
Okay.
Priorities, creator.
I was like, shoot, that's getting ready to end. I got a bid on that. It's one of those, those motionettes I showed yesterday, Dana, like the Dracula and the Lagoon. So they in the 90s they made a bunch of these like witches with really like prune looking faces, and they did different ones, like one where she's like stirring in a cauldron, and one where like she's doing different things. And well, that's what I was trying to win. There's one like where she's like laying down and snoring and stuff like that. So
yeah.
So I love that old Halloween 90s stuff that they release, like decorations and stuff is cool.
Stripe getting dragged by the the chainsaw. Oh, they throw in that the birdie music in his head. All these little touches are really good. Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's fascinating to think about that now. I know we just joke around, but like, how did these gremlins just all of a sudden know how to operate all this machinery? And
I like Stripe. Water gun.
Uh-oh. Gizmo's got to learn to drive here.
Did they make a toy with him in the Barbie car? Wasn't that official? Somebody made a toy out of it?
Well, Chris has he has one of the Gremlins or Gizmo in the.
Oh, there we go, right there. Nice. Earlier, I was thinking the Toonie Terrors should do the Gremlins, but then I realized they're NECA, so NECA's already been doing Gremlins. So why would they bother doing it?
Well, I was hoping that they would at least do like a set, because how they did like the Toonie Terror set of like the Halloween 3 kids.
Yeah.
I was hoping they would do it like a Stripe and a Gizmo, or maybe like Gremlins 2, like a set of all of the different Mogwais from Gremlins 2. Or something like that, or at least maybe a Billy Peltzer figure, or like a list of the rules, accessory.
Poor old Bonnie.
Woof woof. Yeah, Billy, just watch him go into the water and multiply.
Yeah, he's not trying to do anything.
Like he should be like kind of unconscious or something like that, but no, they didn't want to do that.
And I think they've only made one Billy Peltzer figure so far. Like it was the Funko reaction figure before Super 7 was like, I guess, associated with reaction figures. They did like a set of Gremlins where they had like Gizmo and Stripe, and they had like the ski mask Gremlin, and they made a Billy as well. And then I don't have that one, unfortunately. He's kind of hard to obtain now, but hopefully they might do another one at some point.
This is pretty cool. Stripes.
It's just like
disintegration. Yeah. This is very Wicked Witch of the West. What a world. What a world.
It is. Which they play on that in Gremlins 2.
Yeah.
Because there's a Wicked Witch gremlin.
This is pretty horrific for kids to watch.
Yeah, this is one of the movies that changed PG-13. I mean, they changed PG to PG-13. They added PG-13 to.
That's true. That part right there kind of made me sick when I was a kid too.
They always come back for one last scare.
What's odd though is like when it first shows Stripe at that fountain, like you can see water is hitting him from the
Yeah,
fountain.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's
So
what
why is he not multiplying at that point?
movie logic.
As soon as he jumped in the pool, he started multiplying right away.
Yeah.
Dramatic effect.
Yeah, they expedited that shit.
Yeah, that wasn't a bad little jump scare there. I like that.
Well, it's like at the beginning of the Child's Play movie when he goes inside the doll. That first time he goes inside the doll, it's quick. Then
Yeah.
every time after that, when he's trying to get into Andy, something always happens before he can get the words out. It's crazy.
Well, they play around with that in the Chucky TV series.
Yeah,
Yeah, they do.
a lot of people shit on that Chucky TV series, but I actually like it.
It's not bad. It's a lot better than that remake of Child's Play.
Hated that.
Oh yeah. The what was it called? Like
Buddy doll.
I Buddy or something.
Buddy, yeah. Which was, I think, that was originally they were gonna be called Buddy dolls, and because it was supposed to be like a My Buddy.
Yeah, because that's where they got the idea from, was My Buddy. Because
Yeah.
I had one of those when I was a kid.
Don't you let them over.
See, this is not the same Phoebe Cates in part 2. Not just it's like it's an alternate universe. It's part 2.
Man,
It's Key Luke.
Gremlins 2 is so good too. Like that, I think that's Candace's favorite out of the two is Gremlins 2, which it's they both have comedy within them, but there's like it's over the top comedy in Gremlins 2. I mean, Hulk Hogan's in Gremlins 2.
Yeah. Hey there, you Gremlins! You better get out of that production booth.
And what's the guy's name that plays? It's John Glover's the actor's name, but he Daniel Clamp in Gremlins 2, and he's supposed to obviously be like Donald Trump.
Yeah,
and that's so funny in its own way. Gremlins 2 is awesome because it has like the guy in there that's supposed to be like Grandpa Munster is in Gremlins 2. He's like running the TV show, and then there's the one lady that has like the cooking show, and the Daffy Gremlin gets in like the pot with, has all like the noodles and everything all over him.
With Mogwai comes much responsibility. Nobody listened.
It's like they stole that from Spider-Man.
What's a mother put her head down
Billy
for?
will never be ready for the responsibility.
Clearly, he wasn't.
You made me ready.
It's like, your soul is mine. Shang Tsung for Mortal Kombat.
I won't say when I was little and the first time Gizmo says bye to Billy that I might have gotten teary-eyed or some water splashed in my face by accident.
I did.
So the old guy here, I always used, when I was younger, I used to think he was the same actor as the guy that's in Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh yeah,
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they're different people. They something about, I don't know. They look similar, I guess, and they were kind of around the same age too. But yeah, that's another one. I love Big Trouble. That's one of my favorite John Carpenter movies.
Here's the smokeless ashtray for you.
Here, I'm sorry for all the trouble we caused. Our town's destroyed, but here's the
sorry that our town no longer exists. But yeah, but take one of these inventions. Maybe that'll make up for.
That should show up at the beginning of Gremlins too. That should be like right on the thing next to the Mogwai. It should be right there.
Yeah, when I was a kid, like they had the little books like different from different movies and stuff that would come with a record or they would come with a cassette tape, and I would listen. I wouldn't necessarily always look at the book while the tape played, but I would just listen to that tape like all the time.
Yeah, you would get caught up in it. You didn't even have to read the book
Yeah.
or read along with it.
I mean, because they're saying on the tape exactly what the words are in the book, so you don't really need it.
They should have called this town Matt's Paintingville.
Kincaid presents Gremlins.
Well,
And there's the theme song. Do, 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 do.
I think the name of that song was, I've got the soundtrack in there somewhere. I think it's like called Mega Madness or something like that.
so Nick Cat, is that Nicky Cat that played one of the school children in this?
I don't know who that is.
I know he was on Dazed and Confused. He was the guy that what does he say? He said, I came here, it was kind of like the Roddy Piper thing. I came here to drink beer and kick ass or something like
Are
that.
you talking about the guy that like they get in a fight at the party and Daisy Confused?
Yeah.
He's like a tough guy, like greaser guy, wears like the cigarettes and
I think
his
that's Nicky
sleeve.
Cat. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I love Daisy Confused, Dana.
Me too.
Oh, we forgot Howie Mandel is the voice of Gizmo.
Yeah,
that's right.
Because and I showed this Gizmo plush off earlier, and it's actually the back of the ear is signed by Howie Mandel.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. Oh, okay, cool. So we talked about how stupid Billy is. I think one of the reasons might be his character probably should have been younger and more like a young kid who really didn't follow the rules and was sort of a little, irresponsible, instead of his just be, because he's like, he has a job and he's out of school, and it's just like he should be younger than that. Like,
but look how irresponsible he was with his job. He was bringing his dog into a bank.
Yeah, exactly. See, it's just he should have been like Corey Feldman's age in the movie.
Yeah, like you would think, like in that type of character, like that he was playing, like that was kind of like ditzy and doesn't follow the rules. That's more like immature, like the age that Corey Feldman's character was playing. And I was hoping that, like when I seen this, I think this was the first movie I ever seen with Corey Feldman. But like whenever I think of Corey Feldman movies, I always kind of like I go to Goonies or like The Burbs or like what is that movie? Dream a Little Dream.
Oh, I love that movie.
Lost Boys.
But Boys. Yeah.
I never really think of, even though Gremlins is my favorite movie of all time, whenever I think of Corey, Gremlins is not one of the first ones I think of, because I guess where he has such a minimal part in the film.
Yeah.
Because I've always like I wonder why didn't they have him like at the end? Because we've seen him, he was like fighting them with his open window in his house, like. I was hoping we would at least see him again. I mean, but he's not in Gremlins 2. Are they implying that he was killed by the Gremlins? Because we don't see him after that point.
It was probably just that Corey Feldman was doing something else. And
he's like, I gotta go film Friday the 13th, final chapter. So, which they did. They came out the same year, so I'm assuming they were like he filmed those back to back. But yeah.
But, I've enjoyed watching this again with you guys and everybody in the chat.
Always enjoy watching Gremlins. Like it's a yearly thing for me around Christmas, or just really any situation at all. If I feel like watching it, but I always watch it around Christmas. Definitely, I make it a point to do that.
Well, if you can stand the Christmas Story again, it would make a good double feature. This and the Christmas Story.
I've seen the Christmas Story like way too many times.
Yeah,
they
would do that. Like I don't know if they still do that or not, but like on TBS, they used to show it like 24 hours.
TBS and TNT, they both do it.
Oh yeah, both of those because they're both.
Yeah, they really milk it every year.
Ted Turner's like, I love that movie, Christmas Story. Let's show it for 24 hours on both of our networks every year, Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And I'm gonna run WCW at the same time. So
Yeah.
Well, we can stay on here a little bit longer, but because I've been drinking fluids for almost the whole entire movie, I've got to go away and take a restroom break.
you go do that, Dana.
Yeah, I'll be right back. I'm just going to remove myself for a minute or two.
Be careful in there.
Use the rails. No, she says she's old, so I'm assuming she has rails in her bathroom.
Yeah, like when you turn 48, the rails just automatically appear.
It's all downhill from 48, So what's your ultimately favorite? That's not a word. What's your ultimate favorite scene in Gremlins? Like if you could pick one scene that you like the most out of the whole movie.
Probably the bar scene.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, it to me, it's the funnest scene in the whole movie because you get to see and that's where most of the comedy lies was within that scene because you get to see all these different takes on different characters for all the different gremlins. The flash dance one, you see the flasher gremlin, you got the guy that's brooding over in the corner with the other gremlin that's aggravating him with the puppets, and you got the ski mask one and the one that's dressed up like Mrs. Deagle, and there's all kinds of different things going on in that scene, and I love it. Do you have a favorite?
I would say, that though, as far as horror scene, I really like the mother fighting the gremlins. Those two scenes are the bar scene and her fighting the gremlins are the best parts of the movie.
That's probably my second favorite. Yeah. And there's really some gross effects in this movie, with the pods and then Stripe at the end as he's decomposing.
Yeah.
And that, because I remember vividly as a kid watching that, and that part would always make me sick. Both of those, that, and then when the Mogwai are eating the chicken wings, and I was like, ugh, it's pretty nasty.
Yeah, it wasn't hard enough for an R, but it wasn't PG-13, so they really had to go, what are we gonna do? We need to do an in-between type of thing.
Well, I'm sure it probably, if they would have went with that original script, it would have no doubt been
that would have been an R.
Rated R. Yeah, absolutely. But
also, there's no language in this movie. There's no bad language. There's no one swears.
I don't think really. I mean, I know that they use the GD word a couple of times.
Okay, I guess you.
But that's about it. That's about it. I think, because it's, other than that, it's just Gizmo Kaka. And
Actually, back in the day when they used to do movies on TV, if they had GD, they would take out God. They would bleep out God.
Yeah,
but you'd still hear the damn.
They did, but not.
It would be damn. It would be
So I got me a snack too. Was generic generic Doritos.
Are those any good? I've never been to a Meijer before, Dana.
Yeah, they're pretty good. I mean, they're not exactly like Doritos, of course, but they work.
Is Meijer kind of like Walmart or something?
Kind of. Yeah.
I've heard of it, but I've never been in one. So
then I asked Crater this: what's your ultimate favorite scene in Gremlins? If you pick one or maybe two, I don't know.
Well, one of my, I guess I'll give two: the bar scene and the attack of Mrs. Deagle.
Okay.
Yeah, I love that one too.
That's a good one too. Yeah.
Like I said, the bar one was my favorite, and then the Billy's mom battling all the gremlins in the kitchen and throughout the house, and then probably after that, I don't know. I'd have to think about it. But
the movie theater scene's pretty cool too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That might be my favorite. When they're watching Snow White and and that's because my favorite gremlin in that scene is the one that has the popcorn bags on his ears.
Yeah.
And then I love the ones when they're chasing Billy through the back of the the theater, and they have like the popcorn buckets over their heads, but the eyes and the mouth and everything's cut out.
I have another Fright Rag shirt. It's the theater scene, and there's just a bunch of different gremlins and the different outfits and
I
stuff.
remember that one. I
Yeah.
didn't get that one, but I remember when that was a long time ago when they did that, when Fright Rags did that one.
Yeah, that's when they weren't $80 a shirt.
Yeah. I remember like Fright Rags when they first came around, they only had like 2 or 3 different designs. And one of them, their first one was that what would Jason do? And it's like WW, and it had like a Jason hockey mask and D with question mark. And then shortly after that, they released one. It was like a reference to Friday the 13th Part 5, and it just said damn enchiladas or something like that on it.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, then I'm trying to remember like with Fright Rags, because I've been following them from like the beginning, and I remember when they started getting into like the first, like the movie designs and stuff, like when they were getting licenses to different movie titles and stuff. One of the first ones they got, because I still have this shirt somewhere, it was from Dead Alive or Brain Dead, which on the shirt it says Brain Dead, and it's mostly just like a 2-color shirt, like red and black. And like because of that whole scene with Lionel and Dead Alive with the lawnmower, and it's really cool.
Oops, we just lost TJ. Hopefully he'll come back.
Yeah. Maybe he went to go watch Snow White.
Maybe he did.
But yeah, it's fun. It's always I can't think of a single time that I've watched Gremlins with someone and it wasn't fun. Like that there was anybody that's in the room watching it always has a good time with it. I don't think I've ever heard anyone ever say anything bad about Gremlins.
No. And if you do have something bad to say about Gremlins, I don't trust you.
Yeah, keep it to yourself, pal.
I don't trust anybody that doesn't like Gremlins.
Billy's dumb. He doesn't follow rules. This movie's stupid. Wow.
Well,
that's Hollywood logic.
We can make fun of Billy and still love Gremlins.
Oh, it is, but it makes it easier for me now, knowing, like I said, like Zach Galligan's not that great to meet in person. So, like, and that's my favorite movie in the world, people. I'm allowed to make fun.
There you go.
Yeah.
I always wanted to meet Zach Galligan, but now after you tell me that, I don't know if I ever want to.
Well, I mean, I still say, I mean, he's not like super like rude to the point where like, because I've met some super rude people, and like but it's just like I said, he's not super friendly. He doesn't act like he's interested in talking.
He doesn't engage at all, I guess.
He's like Tom Savini, I guess, in a way. Like Tom Savini was never rude to me, but like he just doesn't seem interested to be there.
TJ just said his phone died.
Oh no. I know how that goes, man. Like I was doing that stream with you, Dana, the other night, and I threw my phone, and like my phone kept doing weird stuff, was like kicking me out, and
it did that a couple of times, didn't it?
Yeah, and it only does that when it's plugged into the charger. So yeah, I won that thing that was been that witch. Good.
Which Batman had said earlier, he said his strategy for winning eBay bids is to wait for the last minute and overtake the winning bid.
Well, that's what I was doing. That's what I usually do too, Batman Nerd. But like, I was trying to like do that, and I was trying to like pay attention to the stream that I'm a part of at the same time. So I was multitasking, which I usually have to do when I'm at work anyway. So
yeah.
You know how it is, Dana, because you do that too. I mean, like you'll be at work and you'll be having to like create tickets and stuff, but at the same time you're doing streams and stuff on YouTube.
I have, I don't talk about it at work. I don't tell anybody I work with, like, hey, I did a stream in the middle of work today. But sometimes I will like get on there during a break or something, a 15-minute break or something. I'll come on there real quick and say, hey, I got something done, box or something like that, you know.
Right. So does any of the people that you work with know that you have a YouTube channel?
Yeah, I think everybody I work with knows. My boss knows, but I don't think my boss will ever watch any of my stuff
Oh, you don't think
because
so?
he's not really into horror movies, but his daughter is.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. Actually, is like, have they ever told you? Has anybody from work ever told you that they've watched any of your videos?
Um, a guy that was on the help desk, and then he transitioned over to a field tech. Aaron, he told me he watched some of well, he didn't actually watch them. He said what he would do is put on the video and he'd listen to the audio. He'd listen to me talking like it was a podcast, and he would do other things while he was listening to me talk about movies.
Mm.
Um, but you got anything? Is there anything big coming up with you and Candace, Chris, that you want to talk about?
Uh, well, we're in the process of working on a birthday party for our nephews. I mean, their birthdays did just like Henley's was on the 5th of June, and then Raiden's was on the 29th of May. But they weren't with us at the time for well, Raiden was, but like I think like the same day as his birthday or the day after or something like that, they had to go back to Louisville with their mom. So so we didn't get to do anything with Henley at least for his birthday. So what we decided, and we decided this because we knew that we were that they weren't going to be here like during that time. So we made the plan to like put them a birthday party together, like a combined birthday party together for the two of them for when they come back and stay with us again for like 2 or 3 weeks or whatever it is that when they're coming to stay with us during the summer.
And I'm going to get those shirts made by that time.
Yeah, and so like in a couple weeks, it's like 2 weeks from today, I think, is when the party is. And so like Raiden's really into this video game right now called Cuphead. And like all the like the art style in Cuphead is kind of like the old Betty Boop cartoons and stuff like that from that time period. It's really cool. I'm really into that the art style in that game, and I suck at it. I've tried to play it, but I am no good at that game. But
I
it's really
suck at all video
it's
games. I don't even know why I tried, but
got some really cool looking characters in it. Like a lot of the characters in it are all like there's a big giant carrot, like evil carrot, and then like the main bosses in the game is the devil and a guy named King Dice, which he has like a big huge dice for a head. He's wearing like a purple suit or something like that. But that's what Raiden's into. So we're doing half of the party that, and then the other half which is Henley's big thing right now, which is Ghostbusters.
uh,
So for that's easy for me and Ken, like because we also love Ghostbusters, and so we're having a little bit more difficult time trying to put the Cuphead half half of the party together.
right.
But yeah, it's gonna be fun. Like Henley's really into Nintendo Switch games right now, so I was looking at this Nintendo Switch carrying case earlier, which has got Slimer on it.
Oh, cool.
So I may end up getting that for him to carry his Switch around in. So I don't know yet.
I'm really looking forward to making those shirts or putting the designs on them that Candace sent to me because they're really cool designs. I think they're really going to look cool on these shirts.
Oh yeah, it's going to be like because I think she showed me the designs on her phone. Like I seen them, like because like she had like Henley. I think there was one. I don't know if this is the design you guys are putting on the shirt. I don't know. I haven't really talked to her about that part of it, but I know she showed me a picture like she took and had it was like I guess like a kid's body or something in a Ghostbusters. So she put Henley's head on, and it looks so
Yeah,
good.
that's the one we're gonna use for
Yeah,
the.
awesome. So it's got like the Ghostbusters on the roof of the building from the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I was like, that looks really good.
Mhm. I told Candace, she was talking about me tweaking the designs. I said, Candace, son, I don't need to tweak the designs. They look perfect to me the way they are.
And so what we were because I remember like she was talking to Raiden about the Cuphead thing because she made like a thing of like all these Cuphead characters with I think Raiden's in the middle, and I think she was like originally wanting to like make him in like that same art style,
Right.
but he was like, no. I was
Yeah,
like,
I
I
don't.
would have if I was in that, I definitely would have had like somebody create me like as a part of the characters, and
Yeah.
that would have been so cool.
Yeah. I mean, I tell you, I'm having so much fun doing these t-shirts and stuff now. Now, I don't know if Candace told you that I had a couple of snafus when I was trying to do a double. This was my first time doing a double-sided shirt. I was putting the advertising on the back
Mm-hmm.
of a couple of my shirts, and they were those designs I sent to you and
Oh,
showed
okay.
you that look like the old army posters.
Mm-hmm.
And so what happened? One thing that happened, and I was like, after it happened, I was like, "Duh, Dana, you should have known better than this." But I turned the shirt over that I had already put something on the front of it. It was one of the Scooby Doo mashup ones. So I flipped it over. I put butcher paper on the inside of the shirt. I put butcher paper over the design. That's
Right.
to prevent blowout. And if anybody doesn't know what blowout is in t-shirt making, it's when the image gets transferred other places that it shouldn't
Yeah,
get.
like it stretches out, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like almost like a ink blotch something, but it
Oh, yeah, okay.
turns part of the ink on places you don't want it. So, but I neglected to put a piece of butcher paper over the image that was already on there. So guess what happened? When I opened the heat press and I lifted everything up, I was like, holy crap, how did the design from the front of the shirt get on the pressing pad? And then I was like, oh, Dana, it's because you didn't put any butcher paper down here. So
Oh no.
I had to flip my pressing pad over to the side that didn't have. So I have a beautiful Scooby Doo horror mashup of Robert England on the pressing pad.
Oh no. I
And I
hate
was like, well, live and learn. Now I know that I've got
Well,
to.
you handled that a lot better than I would have, Dana. I would have been frustrated to the gills.
Uh, and the other thing that happened is I was being stingy with my butcher paper. And I learned you don't, this butcher paper, I told myself, I said, Dana, why are you being stingy with the butcher paper? It doesn't cost that much. So what I learned is make sure if you guys are ever thinking about doing t-shirts and you're using a heat press, cut a big hulking piece of butcher paper to put on top of the image that you're transferring. You don't want that heat press touching any bare part of the shirt. Cover the whole damn thing because you'll get this brownish kind of line and stuff on there. I was like, oh shit, because I didn't put enough butcher paper on there. So there's another thing for any of you guys and gals that are thinking about getting into the t-shirt biz.
And I know that Candace and my ex sister in law Amber, when they were at one point, because they got one of those like cry cut things, like those machine cry cut, and
Oh yeah, the cuts around.
and they had some kind of like heat press thing where they were printing on like different images that they would use the cry cut thing. Like, so she made me a Joe Bob Monster Vision shirt. And she had to do it because like the first one they made, something that I guess they didn't use the heat press good enough or something, because parts of the image that they cut out was kind of like coming up off the shirt and peeling.
Yeah.
But they realized what happened. I like I said, I have no knowledge of doing any of that kind of stuff. I have no talent with that kind of stuff. But they figured it out. Like in the second one, they made it look awesome. I actually have it in my closet somewhere. It was a long sleeve, and that's something maybe you ought to like think about, because I love wearing long sleeves. Well, obviously not in the summertime, but any other time when it's like cool, like I love long sleeves. And you could maybe like think of some kind of like whatever your design is, like on the front, say like it's an Evil Dead or something.
Right.
You have like
I have something on the sleeves.
and you can do like on like the Necronomicon or like different stuff, like images on the sleeves. Because you see a lot of like t-shirt companies and stuff making those long sleeves like that has stuff on the sleeves, and
Exactly.
I love those. That's why like I don't know if you've seen that Evil Dead 2 long sleeve I have.
I did. I think
I'm
so.
wearing it in that photo op with the Raimi brothers, but like it's got on the front, it's got Ash up here, and it's got like Dead-Eyed Ash, and then it's got like the vortex of from the end of the movie, like in the middle, and down the sleeves it's got like the Necronomicon. It's got like the dagger from Evil Dead 2, the Kandarian dagger, I think it's called. And there's just a bunch of different stuff, and like, yeah, I like that kind of thing.
Well, I'll definitely look into that. It may take me some practice to get, those things right, but
TJ said Cuphead has a cartoon series too. I didn't know that. Is it like
super weird?
Is it like on a streaming service or something? Because I don't think I've ever seen it anywhere.
He also, TJ also says, by the way, Temple of Doom and Gremlins were the catalyst to add the PG-13 rating.
Yeah, I think that's what he was talking about before his phone died. Because I know he did mention it to me. He was talking about like Gremlins was one of the first ones to go to cause them to switch from making these films like that from PG to PG-13.
Right. I thought I heard something back there. I didn't know if Steve got up or what, but maybe he didn't.
He's being a ninja around the house.
Scares the life out of me when he'll come up behind me and he doesn't make a sound, and then all of a sudden I'll hear somebody say something. I'm like, don't do that. I'll be concentrating on something and not paying attention.
It's like, that's what husbands are made for, to aggravate their wives. I think I've told this story to you before, but like one time, this is when me and Candace was like still we were living with her mom and dad at their house, and like Candace I just heard her come home. I heard her just pull up in the car, and then like, so I went and like hid in the closet. And I waited for like at least 10 minutes and just wait for her to come in there. I was like, I gotta dedicate myself to the joke. Gotta dedicate myself. And then I stayed in there, and she finally came through, and like I scared the absolute piss out of her.
I hope not literally.
Well, not literally, but just a figure of speech. Or is it?
Only Chris and Candace know.
No, but she did. She can't stand being scared, Candace, and like when I mess around with her and stuff, and she gets so mad. She's like, "Chris, you're stupid." Or something.
I can hear Candace saying that now. Oh man.
But she does that stuff back to me too. Like she had to go. We stopped down by her mom's earlier, and like she had to go in and talk to her mom about something. But she said, "You just wait out here in the car." I was like, "Yeah, I'll be out here," and so I was just stayed out there, and I was playing on my phone and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then like I wasn't paying attention. I wasn't using my peripheral vision or anything. But all of a sudden, I just like I hear her just like go bam against the window of the door, and it scared me to death.
Well, here's something I did to Steve one time, and it was kind of mean because, especially early in our relationship, early in our marriage, Steve was always nervous that I would get pregnant. So April Fool's Day came
Can't
around,
have that happen, Dana. Not going.
and I thought this is mean, but I have to do
Oh
it.
no, I know where this is
So,
going.
so I texted him while he was at work and said, "Hey, I've been feeling kind of different, so I took a pregnancy test and it was positive, and it's a wonder he didn't have a heart attack."
No, what you should have been like, I've been throwing up all day, Steve, and I've been craving peanut butter and pickles, and he'd be like,
And,
"What are you trying to say, Dana?"
but I didn't let him go very long because I was afraid he'd get all out of sorts, and so I told him pretty quick.
Well, I mean, I didn't react that way when I found out because I was like, me and Candace had just got engaged like the week before, so like, and I don't think she was like recognize any signs or anything that she was
Right.
pregnant, but I think she just like the next week after we got back from Pittsburgh, um, she had to go she went to the doctor for just a checkup, and while she was there they told her that she was pregnant. And I remember when she found out, like I was on my way to Pikeville with my mom to go to the jeweler to get Candace's ring resized. And then she called me on the way there and told me the news, and I was like, oh my gosh. And like, but like also at the same time, I was like, nobody's going to ever believe us now. Like they're going to think that that's the reason we're getting married. And
But sometimes coincidences
yeah, they do.
happen like
They
that.
do.
Um,
And like I said, everything happens for a reason. That's at least what I believe. And just everything was starting to kind of just the puzzle pieces were starting to fall into place at that time.
I think what happened with Steve and why he was so nervous about it is what a lot of
It's a natural reaction for a lot of
new
men.
fathers,
Yeah, it's a
they're
natural
scared
reaction.
that they won't do right by the kid or
Well,
something.
yeah, because there are, that's easy to feel that way because if you've never had to be put in any kind of like where you had to take care of a child or anything, and you don't know anything about doing that, which I don't think is the case with Steve because I think he was pretty close with his niece, if I remember correctly, Shelby,
Yeah.
and so I mean he at least knew about taking care of her and stuff like that. So. But there are guys out there that that don't have any kind of experience with that stuff. But I had a niece, I had a nephew. I helped raise them as they was growing up, and so I was scared when I knew that I was going to be a dad. Um, like, but I was nervous. Am I going to do right by him? Am I going to am I going to be able to take care of him? Am I able to handle that? You ask yourself a lot of questions in that time. And I'm sure mothers do the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
But you just kind of we were learning after he was born. After Noah was born, we were just learning as we went. We had both our sets of parents there to kind of like help guide us, and like, well, you can do this, and then give us little tips and tricks and stuff like that as to what we can do. But like I said, a lot of that, we just kind of had to learn on our own, and that's just, I think that's how most, sometimes, unfortunately there are parents that can't handle it, that's why. And then there's, sadly a bunch of kids get, those parents give them up for adoption, or they get sent to an orphanage or whatever. And, and that always sucks, but, but you got to look at everything with stuff like that, especially in a positive way, because, like I said, I believe everything happens for a reason, because, a lot of times those kids are placed into really good families and having, some best, their best lives. Like there's a lot of, like, I think kids in Hollywood, like child actors and stuff, that, grew up not with their birth parents.
Right.
And, and look at how some of their lives turned out, so it's all according to what the plan is for you. You know what I mean?
I think with Steve, I think a lot of his nervousness came from he didn't have a good relationship with his own dad. They had a strained
That's
relationship,
understandable.
and Steve, bless his heart, he thinks he's so messed up that he couldn't take care of a child properly.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I felt something because me and my dad kind of have a rocky relationship growing up too, and like how they say a lot of times when you're a kid, like your personality traits are hereditary, and so like you're always afraid if, like, say if you have a rocky relationship with one of your parents and you grow up and you worry if you're going to end up the same way they are, or so it's very easy to feel. It's very like common and natural to feel that way. I've felt that way several times and then like, and I've even realized I've done certain things in the past, like that's, I was like, oh my God, that's shit my dad would do,
Mm-hmm.
and then but you just gotta kind of like, I don't know, better yourself sometimes. So
Yeah.
and not worry about that and just kind of go with the flow.
But I'm sure for all of your dad's faults and even all of Steve's dad's faults,
Mm-hmm.
there were good things
Oh,
about.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, I'm not gonna sit and say like, "Oh, my dad was terrible. I hated him. He was like the worst dad in the world." No, I mean, I think at every point in time, I think every kid has kind of had, where they weren't on the same page with their parents, and they didn't, they would be really angry at them for stuff, because you just had disagreements, and just they were doing, either you were doing something they didn't like, or they were doing something you didn't like, But I don't. It's I of all the people I know, I don't think I know anybody that ever had like a perfect relationship with their parents.
No,
But yeah, like because you saying, there was a lot of, I have a lot of good memories with my dad. Like I said, I've credited my dad several times on here as being one of the probably the biggest reasons why I'm a horror fan.
right.
And because I think I inherited a lot of that interest from my dad.
And I think too with me, I think I lived at home with my parents too long. So I have a better relationship with my parents now than I did when I didn't have a
I
terrible
think,
relationship.
I think I'm same way too. Like I'm closer now with my dad than I have ever been in my life. And but and I'm even closer with it even now after, my father-in-law's passing last December, because I was really close with him, even though he wasn't he was just my father-in-law,
Mhm.
but he wasn't just a father-in-law to me. He was a friend. He was a close buddy. Me and him was always joking around, and we liked a lot of the same things, and we would sit and like watch TV shows and movies and stuff together. And I've mentioned this before. My father-in-law was not a horror fan by any means,
Right.
but he actually sit and watched the whole movie of Train to Busan with me, and
Wow.
I'll never forget that. I was really taken aback by that.
That's really saying something there if he sat there and watched that whole movie with you.
But like I said, I was close with him, and after his passing, it kind of like clicked in my brain. It was like, I think I need to get closer with my dad, my own dad,
Right.
and because it was so unexpected with Candace's dad's passing, and and it just goes to prove that anything can happen. You never know when we're gonna leave this earth, and go into this another plane of existence. But so that's like it just kind of like said, it just hit me like all of a sudden after that, like after the funeral, I was like, I gotta get closer with my dad because I don't know how much time I have left with him.
Yeah, I told Candace this, and I don't think she would mind me telling this, but I said whenever I found out your dad had passed, I said it just this overwhelming need to see not only my dad, but to see my mom too. I had a desperate, almost desperate need to see them.
Yeah, yeah,
And
I'm
Steve
the same way.
Steve understood, thankfully, and I said, I've got to go see my parents, Steve. I said, this hearing about Candace's dad, and it just shows you how fragile life is. You can be here 1 second and gone the next.
It's very true, very very true.
Mm.
I
But
mean,
not trying to bring everybody down
yeah,
along.
it's all good.
Mm.
We're just talking.
Well, me and Chris are really good friends. Chris, and Candace. I mean, they're like they've said this about me. I say it about them. They're like family.
Yeah,
Chris is like a brother to me. Candace is like a sister to me.
I
The
say the
sister
same
I
thing.
never had.
I say the same thing all the time to Candace about you. I always say like Dana's like the sister I never had, and because me and you like we connect on so many different levels as far as like our interests and stuff, like because we agree on a lot of the same stuff with like as far as like movies and stuff go. We kind of sometimes we don't agree on some things, but I mean, but the thing is like we're respectful of one another to where like,
Mhm.
well, she don't like that movie I like, I'm not talking to her anymore.
Yeah,
oh,
but there are some people that will do that.
oh
Unfortunately,
yeah,
don't like every movie that they like.
yeah,
So we
unfortunately.
can't be friends. It's hey, Mayor. Mayor says, I can totally relate to that, Chris. I definitely wasn't expecting my sister to pass away 10 days after my mother
Oh
passed.
my gosh, I'm so sorry, man. It's like Wes. Like Wes when his dad passed. Uh, well, I can't remember. It might have been the other way around. Like, did Wes's mom or dad pass first?
His dad passed away
His
first.
dad passed first, and then was it like a month later, his mom passed.
Yeah.
I mean that I can imagine, And I'm sorry, Mayor. That really sucks, man. I
Mhm.
hate that for you. I hope you're doing okay. I don't know how long ago that was, but I hope you're doing okay. And like, you know, you yeah, that's rough. I don't know how that would be because I have one brother. My brother is 10 years older than me, and then like, we're not me and him are not as close as we used to be when we were younger. But I can't imagine like if losing my brother like and let alone like one of my parents like I because I already like and I'll be honest with you sometimes and not as bad as I used to but like I in the past I have struggled with like depression and stuff and
Mhm.
over the dumbest stuff too but I can't imagine how like what my psyche would go into losing someone like that
Yeah,
as
I
I mean,
I've been thinking about that in relation to my parents, and I even think about it. This is terrible, but I think about Steve too because Steve and I are 7 years apart. I mean, it could be that I go before him, but theoretically, the law of averages will say that he'll go before I do, and I just I as much as I've fought with Steve over the almost 11 years we've been married, I still can't imagine my life without him.
Exactly. I mean, like, me and Candace have had our arguments and fights and stuff in the past, but like, but that stuff is very like trivial to me because like it doesn't last. Like it's especially well, at least with me and Candace, like we'll have arguments or fights or whatever, but then like before the day's over, we're just like, we're apologizing to each other, where we get past it, it's done and over with.
Mhm.
But so like it's not. I couldn't imagine even if I were, like mad, like super mad at her, and then if something were to happen to her, like it's going to destroy me inside
Mhm.
because But that's a normal thing, I think, amongst a lot of couples and stuff like that.
Mm.
So
And
it's
I don't that's why I don't like to stay angry at
yeah,
Steve.
like I said, it's very trivial because like it's just I think it's just ultimately just a part of life because I don't know why that is because you hear that so much though, like people that are couples and relationships and stuff. It's like you have you ever heard of a couple who are like absolutely perfect, who never fight or never argue
If
or
I have heard that, I call bullshit on it.
I just don't think it's possible. I don't think it's
Oh,
possible. Um, it is what it is.
I mean, I hate to say it that way, but I mean, there just are no perfect couples. I mean, my parents are two of the most loving people you could ever be around, and they love each other with every fabric of their being. But my parents have had arguments and fights over the years. I mean, they had some doozies when they were first married. Of course, mom says we were just kids and we were young and stupid and we fall over silly things. And she said she was childish when her and dad first got married. And I've talked about her getting mad at him and breaking all his arrows and tearing up his girly magazines, as she
Was it
called
like arrows, like for like a bow and arrow,
them.
or
Yeah, because my dad would bow hunt.
oh, okay.
He gun hunted and bow hunted. And yeah, she got pissed off at him and she just broke all his arrows. And one time she got mad at him over something and she had a towel in her hand. I don't know if it was a dish towel or what. And he was standing in the doorway and she slung the towel at him and he shut the door and the towel caught in the door and dad just started laughing and that made her even more mad. You don't laugh at your wife. That's just gonna make her madder. But mom and dad got a million stories like that.
I
So
nothing with my mom or dad or anything, but I remember my brother like we had just got out of the pool or something like a swimming pool, and my brother like had that wet towel and he rolled
oh
up and he hit me right on the back with it. Oh my gosh, that's got to be one of like the most like painful things that he ever did to.
oh
Because me and him used to wrestle and stuff in our living room, and he would get pretty rough with me and stuff. So, but I survived. I'm here, you know, almost 40 years old now. I'm alive. That's all that matters.
we survive all that stuff. I had my brother didn't hit me with a wet towel on the back, but when he was little, he got pissed off at me about something, and he climbed up on my back and bit me
Oh my gosh.
on my back and left a welt probably about that big on me.
Um, yeah, I mean, like I know Candace has told me some doozies before about her brother CJ, about what he would do when he was little and stuff. And has she ever told you the HR Puffin stuff story?
I think so.
So that's when me and her were dating, and like we were like, I think we were just talking over like video messenger or whatever. Like I was back at my house when I was living with mom, and she was at her house with her mom and dad, and um, we would like talk all night on video messenger and stuff, and then like she was letting like the DVDs play of HR Puff and stuff on her TV, and then like it got to a point where like I guess all the episodes ran through, and then it goes back to like the menu screen where
I'm remembering the story now.
and then on that menu screen of the HR Puff and stuff DVD, it would just play that song over and over again, like HR Puff and stuff, whatever. So like that's play, and she fell asleep while talking to me. I think we might have both fell asleep because like I think like she had her laptop in her bed with her. And I think I was like the same way at my house, so we probably like just both fell asleep with her stuff still going, and like so like I said, that menu screen in her house is like playing through, and like her room was like an adjoining room with her brothers at that time, and so like he was just like right there, like right next in the conjoining room when he was over there, I guess, trying to sleep, and then like all of a sudden, like I guess the he couldn't sleep because of the HR Puff and stuff playing over and over and over. And I think he like picked up a shoe or something. And he threw it at her TV. And he started just like cussing her out about like, why are you HR Puff and stuff over time? Or so, like, they just,
I had that happen, like, not anybody throwing anything at the TV or anything, but one time my mom fell asleep watching a DVD of the Waltons, and it went back to the menu screen and was playing the Waltons theme song over and over again.
I think you've told me that one before too. Like, because if I remember, me or Candace one was telling you that like her dad would do the same thing because, like I said, when we were living with her mom and dad there for a while after we lost our first house and everything, and that's a whole big situation I won't go into, but we were living with her mom and dad for a little bit, but and our like the bedroom was right like just kind of right next to, but not exactly right next to it, but to where her parents' bedroom was, and her dad would watch, all kinds of stuff on TV, movies, TV shows, whatever. And he would always have his TV like at 100 full blast volume. And he would keep his door open too. So like the whole house would hear whatever he was watching. And I remember like it was nighttime when he was like watching the Waltons DVDs, and like same thing with the Waltons DVD on the menu. It just plays the song over and over and over and over and over. So yeah,
my brother got aggravated that time. He was like, "Can somebody turn that off?" But then my brother turned around. I think it might have been not very long after that, and me and my brother's rooms in mom and dad's house were really super close together. Okay. So he was watching a Star Wars, one of the Star Wars movies.
Yeah, that's a wonderful thing to hear over and over.
Screen, and it was playing the Star Wars song, and I got so irritated. I finally just went in his bedroom.
Well, I love Star Wars, but that's the theme song of Star Wars. That's not one I want to hear over and over and over in a loop. But I tell you what, Candace would like have me do, like whenever like her dad would do that, she would send me through there and be like, she goes, "Go see if my dad's asleep. If he is, turn that off."
Turn it off.
And so like I would like sneak in there and I would like kind of like peek around to see if he was laying there asleep or anything. So I would like sneak in there. I would just turn his TV off because, like I said, Carl would like have that TV at full blast at all times.
That was like my granddaddy, but granddaddy couldn't hear, and he would blast everything. He'd blast The Price is Right. He would blast the soap operas or the stories, as they used to call them. Watching my stories, and it was like, oh my gosh, if it was a ball game, he'd have it blasting the races. He used to watch races all the time, but everything Granddaddy watched, he blasted it.
Right. Yeah. That's the way Kansas's dad was. I mean, God bless his soul. But I'll never forget some of the times with him. Like it was, I mean, like, and that TV that he had was loud. I mean, it was like I said, you could hear whatever he was watching in every detail throughout the whole house.
Hear the whole dialogue of the music and everything. But guys and gals, this has been awesome, and I always love the conversations that we have, before and after, as well as during the watch along, because that's one thing about the watch alongs I do. I don't make anybody stick to just talking about the movie. I don't slap your hand and say, you can't talk about anything else but this movie. So that's why you should always tune in, especially when I have these watch alongs, because you never know what we might talk about on here. So I always have a lot of fun, but I would love to stay on here longer. However, I'm feeling pretty good now, and hopefully I'm on the mend, but I don't want to overdo it. So probably what I should do is get some rest, and I'm sure Chris needs to get some rest, and you guys and gals in the chat probably need to get some rest as well. Um, I don't know if Dead Pit's doing anything right now or anything like that.
I seen something earlier on their YouTube channel, like they have a video scheduled for the 16th, which is next week, but I don't know. I don't think they're doing anything tonight. To my
I
knowledge.
don't know. I can't hardly keep up with anybody anymore. I guess because I'm doing my own stuff, but
Right.
I
Well,
try to
yeah,
support everybody.
I try to keep up with as many people as I can. Now, there's some people that I can't keep up with as much as I would like to. But and I won't say any names because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. Um, but yeah, there are some that I would really like to watch, like everybody's stuff and all things. Like I can like, keep a schedule. Like I'm gonna watch Dana stuff. I'm gonna watch Deadpit stuff. I'm gonna watch so and so stuff. But it's like on the kind of schedule I got, it's not possible, really.
Yeah, it's not, like Chris says, we don't want to hurt anybody's feelings or anything. We're not going to mention names, but especially when you're doing your own stuff, it's almost impossible. It is impossible to keep up with everybody's stuff.
It is.
Um, I can't even keep up with my own stuff sometimes. So it's just, and people probably say, well, everybody and their mother doesn't need to be doing live streams and all this stuff. But, honestly, guys and gals, I enjoy it. I really, really enjoy doing these.
Well, yeah, and that's the most important thing. Is like yeah, we want to people to interact with us and stuff and like this stuff as much as we like it. But as long as you're doing it as an outlet to what you enjoy, that's all that matters. So like, it's I think it's you enjoy yourself more when you look at it in that perspective instead of worrying about if anybody's going to watch you or if anybody likes my stuff or if anybody's out there saying anything negative about my content.
Right.
I mean, if you're constantly wrapped up in all that, then you're going to eventually stop enjoying doing this.
I have tried to train myself and I've gotten pretty good at it. When I first started doing these live streams on a regular basis, I used to pay attention to that number of how many people were in here. And then I was like, Dana, stop doing that. Because what that's going to do is give me
You
a
got
false
cause that up there. That's just a tactic of like of causing yourself to go down that downward spiral. Because like you just got to just do it. Just let it go. Not pay attention to what the numbers are, what anybody's saying. You just kind of just go with it and just like focus on what you want to put out there, what you want to talk about, how you feel about it, et cetera, et
Oh,
cetera.
I did not know Wes was in Pittsburgh.
Oh, that's right. This is the Living Dead weekend at the Monroeville Mall.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
I guess I just didn't pay enough attention to know that he
I
was going.
forgot about that. He told me that the other day that they were going. I was like, "You lucky dog," because
So,
they're doing a Creep Show 2, and Night of the Creeps theme for the Living Dead weekend. And I've been wanting to go since they started doing that convention. I've been wanting to go to that bad because they always do them at the Monroeville Mall,
yeah.
and like they do that one guy. I think his name is Larry. I probably butcher his last name. It's like DeVincent's or something. Like he lives in the area, and he does like the tours of the mall, all the different Dawn of the Dead, like filming locations. They even give him access to like stuff like behind closed doors in the mall and everything for him to just show stuff where they like when they did like the it was like the boiler room or whatever in Dawn of the Dead. Like he takes you back there, back down those back hallways where like you seen the Hare Krishna zombies like coming through the hallway. Yeah, he takes you through to all that stuff,
Oh
and,
man.
and I would love to do that.
Yeah, I would love to as well, but I don't think I'll ever get Steve up to Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
Um,
well, one of these days, Dana, me and Candace might go back. You just go with us. We'll leave Steve in Louisville.
we'll let Steve stay at home. But Mayor said that Wes posted a picture outside of the Creep Show house, which I'm going to have to go.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen that yet. Now another one of my friends, Joe. He actually has not Joe Garcia, but another Joe. But he's a vendor at a lot of conventions, and he sells like posters and a bunch of different like stuff from horror films. But I know he's actually I think a vendor this weekend at that Living Dead weekend, and I seen a picture he posted earlier on his Facebook of in front of the Creep Show house.
That's
Um,
cool.
which I didn't even think about that when me and Candace went to Monroeville because where we went to Monroeville Mall and that's where we got engaged at and everything. We only did like the mall and then we went to Evans City Cemetery, the Night of Living Dead stuff. And I don't know what must have slipped my mind, but I didn't even think about like the Creep Show locations while we were there. I would have visited them as well.
Mm-hmm. Mayor says, "Go, Dana. Steve will just sleep while you're gone." um, well, the the thing is, he's getting ready to. I don't know if this is going to be good or bad for him as far as a sleep schedule, but he's getting ready to switch to a different job. Um,
It's within the same company though,
yeah,
right?
it's within the same company, but he he will get to work at about 1 or 1:30 in the afternoon and work till like 9 or 9:30 at night and come home.
Mm,
He'll still be off on the weekends, but Monday through Friday, that's what kind of schedule he's gonna have.
It's not a fun schedule.
But he wants to be making the extra money, so I
Well, I feel that. I completely understand that.
and I told him, I said, "Well, if that's what you want, because I'm working from home, so it's not like it's gonna mess with me, Steve not being able to pick me up from a job outside the home or anything like
Right.
that."
Yeah.
Will
Yeah.
Steve still have access to the IT closet? Probably. He probably will, Mayor. Um, I think he's just moving to another office, so
Mm.
he'll probably still be, he can go
Does,
hang out in
does
the
the company that Steve works for, do they not offer like opportunities to work from home or?
Well, they may, but Steve always tells me he doesn't wanna work from
Oh,
home.
really? Well,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's just kind of, you know, I felt the same way when I first had to start doing it. Like, because I every other job I ever worked for, I had to go to like a brick and mortar type place and be around all these other different, employees and stuff. And I enjoyed that because I like being social with people and um just like I don't know, I like doing stuff hands on in person a lot. And if there's anybody there that I need to kind of like talk to, that they're there, I can just go to them or whatever, and I don't have. And I was scared about that when I had to start working from home, like after COVID and everything. And I just thought, like I'm gonna be here. I have to reach out to them through this chat or whatever, and it's until when they're gonna get back to me. And I mean, there was just a lot of stuff, and I was like, I'm not gonna see anybody. I'm just gonna be, I'm gonna get burnt out quick on this, and because I'm not seeing anybody, I'm not being social with anybody, like I would be in person. So there was a lot of like worries for me, and I was making me really nervous about doing work from home. But I tell you, I would never go back to work after do it. Like I work from home for so long now, and I love it because it's just so much more convenient in a lot of ways for me.
It is for me too. Yeah.
So I just, yeah, if they were like tomorrow, like on Monday morning, I go back. They're like, listen, everybody, we're going back to having a site, and everybody's going to come to the site and work at it. No more working from home. I would probably have a panic attack.
I think, yeah, I've worked from home so long now that it would scare me to death to
Yeah,
go back to the
I would
office.
probably have a panic attack. I'd be like, oh no, this is because, like I said, everything that entails in like a work from home job, it's so much more convenient in a lot of ways.
Mhm.
And like, I don't know, like to me, I feel that way because, and it's stupid, but like I feel because I like to eat. I think that pretty much is obvious by now that I like to eat.
Well, I like to eat too.
So like, and my kitchen is like right there, close to my
Yeah,
office, so I could get up and go get me a snack or whatever.
kitchen's just right back there, and this is where I work from.
Yeah, I mean
Back
that's what I'm
here.
saying. Like, so that's one of the many reasons why I enjoy working from home.
Um, but again, it's almost 20 after 10, so I have had a fantastic time with Chris and TJ and all you guys and gals in the chat
So
tonight.
glad that TJ got to join us. That was awesome.
Yes, I was hoping that we'd have, at least one other person. I wasn't sure that Candace would get to or not. I did send her the link, but on the weekends it's a toss up whether Candace will get to.
Yeah, and I think she was pretty like wore out to tonight because like her and her mom have been like working and doing stuff all day around the house. So like, yeah, that I understand quick that can get really tiring.
Good night, TJ, and you're very welcome. I always like having you on here. Anybody that I've had on these streams in the probably the last year or so, with maybe a couple of exceptions, and I'm not going to go into detail. I have enjoyed having those people on here, and will continue to enjoy having you on here because I think that the people that I've had on here a few times as of late are people that I can trust. I know I can trust Chris. I know I can trust Candace. I know I can trust TJ. I know they're not going to like wig out on me or anything or do something
Well,
crazy.
you never know, Daniel.
No, you do never know. But know, I feel like that you guys are safe bets. As far as having you on here, and I don't think I'm going to have anything like that one person a long time ago that, thank God, I didn't click on them and add them without looking down at the screen to see what in the heck they were doing. um so that was something I don't want to see ever again. I don't know who this person was, and I guess they thought it was funny. But I didn't think it was funny, and it could have gotten me in a lot of trouble with
Mhm.
YouTube if I had clicked on them and all of a sudden everybody saw their nether regions.
Oh my gosh.
Um,
I must not know what you're talking about because
oh yeah, I don't think you were probably not watching my stuff regularly then, Chris, because this is when I used to put every stream I would have, I would put the invite link in the chat. And Dark warned me about that. He said, Dang, you might not want to keep doing that. But I didn't listen and I kept doing it. And then this person, and they were a male, you know, and I happened to glance down to see who was backstage. And thank God I did because they appeared to be pleasuring themselves
oh
on
my gosh.
their webcam or their phone,
Ooh.
whatever they were using. And I know I looked shocked. I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And I booted them out really,
Yeah.
really quickly.
Yeah, I didn't know about that.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. That
but
only
like
happened one time, but that was enough.
yeah, it's possible that at the time because like I said, like I didn't start getting like more involved with watching YouTube stuff until I started doing these streams with you and stuff. I don't know. Like, I mean, I watched YouTube like every now and then, like stuff, a video pops up, like a link from Facebook or something. I watched it, and like, cause like, even like Dead Pit, like I've not even seen all their stuff because like I just, but now I kind of watch their stuff regularly. I'm more like involved with YouTube. And I
Right.
started doing streams with you, and like I said, I've been watching more and more like people's channels that like I'd never watched before and stuff that were actually that kind of came from the same like Dead Pit community and stuff from the message board stuff that kind of have their own channels now. So like Pizzelle, like I've always been friends with him for years, but I didn't start watching his stuff until here like this past year or whatever. So but now I watch his stuff all the time, and I watch your stuff all the time, and Dead Pit stuff whenever they put new stuff out,
Mhm.
and Rambo and all kinds of different people.
Yep. And Rambo, like he popped in a few of my streams here lately too, and I was glad to see him in there.
Rambo's a cool guy. I like him.
Yes, very cool.
Matt, whatever he wants to go out. Matt, I know Matt's his real name, but
Yeah,
I can't. I have to call him Rambo because like he's
I think just about everybody.
that's what I've always known him as from like the Dead Pit message boards and stuff.
Yep. TJ said he just found out the convention that he was talking about earlier has Felissa Rose doing a photo op dressed as Angela
Yeah,
at the end.
she just started recently doing that at a lot of shows. Like it's a costume, I guess, like thing she's wearing, and it's got a male nether regions down there too. So,
Remember?
yeah, it's an 18 and up photo op only.
Oh,
So
okay. That makes sense. TJ says he might have to get that. If you do, I've got to see it, even if you have to send the picture to me
if I
privately.
catch her at another show and she's doing that photo op, I'm getting that for sure.
But I guess me and Chris are gonna get out of here for the night. But be sure to tune in for the movie Munchies
Mhm.
and the watch along for the initiation, which will be tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern time.
Yeah.
The movie Munchies will be at 3 p.m. Eastern time. I'm going to be making some deep red spaghetti,
Oh yeah.
and I'm going to be eating some of that deep red spaghetti as well. So be sure to tune in for that. Um, and yeah, we'll see you next time. And me and Chris are off like a dirty shirt. And I just want to remind everybody, as I always do, to be kind to one another and blaze that trail. Let's have a fantastic end to our Saturday, and let's make Sunday awesome as well. And get ready for that work week. I know nobody wants to think about the work week,
Nope.
but let's enjoy our weekend so we'll be better prepared to go into the work week. So, I want to thank Chris again for being on here with me. And TJ, if you're still in here, I want to thank you for being on with us as well.
Anytime.
And we're going to get out of here for the night. So I'll see you next time, folks.
Bye, everybody. Have a good night.